Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of international rugby. This one, France versus South Africa. Now, this is an absolutely massive game. The winner of the Six Nations going head-to-head with the winner of the Rugby Championship. These two sides, there's been a bit of bad blood all throughout the week, but now we are getting close to the start of this contest. It is at the Stade de France, a location where South Africa were able to beat the French in the last Rugby World Cup quarter-final. But this game, it could be a little bit different. It seems like both are well and truly up for it. We'll look through at the starting lineups. We've still got a little bit of time before this match does get underway, but it is Adosio alongside Julio Marchand and Montagna as that front row in this contest. Julio Marchand, his lineouts will be so crucial, and also just that scrummaging of the French. They've got a solid looking forward back, and they need it in this game, as South Africa have been very good at winning themselves penalties at scrum time throughout the other matches that they've played. Flamand and Miafu, two massive men in the locking duo with Jalange alongside Bodiant and Gilliard. Now that was a big call, having Gilliard as the starting number 8 rather than someone like a Gregory Aldrit who does not even feature off of the bench here for the French. Nolan Legaric, he is the starting 9 alongside Roman Intermac at 10. Gelfiku, the captain, at number 12 with Barassi as the 13 with Biel Barre, I should say, Damien Pinot and Thomas Ramos to make up the back three. Looking through at South Africa's starting lineup, a few changes compared to what we saw from Rassi's side up against Japan. It is Boan Fenta, Malcolm Marks and Thomas Du Toit, so no Oxenshare due to his injury, and also Wilco Lowe. He is making his way off of the bench just like last week, as we do not see Zachary Porfin get the opportunity here. For the Springboks, Eben Etzebeth back into the side, the most experienced Springbok of all time. He partners with Ludiacha in the locking duo. Sio Kolisi, big milestone game for him, bringing up his 100th test cap for the South Africans. He's had a lot of those as captain. He has owned that number 6 jersey for quite some time. I love nothing more than a big performance in this matchup. As well, Pieter-Steph du Toit, one of the best loose forwards in the world, if not the best. He will be slotting in as that number 7, and Jasper Visser, he is there at 8. Loves a physical type of matchup, which I feel is exactly what we are going to see here up against the French. Neither of these sides are going to be taking a backward step, and they will both be going full tilt, 150% right from the get-go, trying to enforce that physicality. Sasha Feinberg, Ngame Zulu, he was slotting at 10 with Kobus Reinach on his inside at 9. Reinach's handling errors at times have been creeping in over the last little while, but him and Sasha have been a formidable duo for the Springboks as well. Damien Dialendi and Jesse Krill, the experience is what Rassi has gone with in the midfield. Kurtley Arendse in his second game back from injury. Cheslin Colby moves from 15 to 14, and Damien Willemse, he is back from his hamstring issues. He is there as that number 15. But we've got a whole heap of messages in the comments at the moment. We will try our best to catch through all of them. We have got there, what a nice win for the Italians against Australia. A massive win for the Italians. And their game manager, where is the suit? I had no time in between the live streams, unfortunately, so I didn't actually get a chance to put it on for this one. But yeah, it is certainly a big match with these two sides. Going ahead there, Lekker Boy says double up. Beautiful stadium there from South Africa says double up. Let's go the Springboks, says Johnny Blaze. And also we've got there Michael Gilliard is a mean number 8, physical and powerful. Yeah, he did show off exactly what he could do up against New Zealand throughout the July internationals. He was one of the standouts when it came to enforcing that physicality. He's also a bit of a tackling machine, so it makes sense as to why they'll put him in there. It just seems like it's a bit of a risk not having one of those more experienced guys as a backup option. In the scenario, they don't have Grus, they don't have Aldrit. You just wonder whether or not that will hurt them a little bit later on. What's your prediction, H? To be honest, I went 28-18 in favour of the Springboks, mainly because of the fact that we saw them play last week, whereas France have not had a game as of yet. Last time that we saw the French in action, it was up against New Zealand in July. So I would be extremely surprised if the Springboks come out onto the field at Stade de France and look worse than France do. So that's where they have to make the most of the early stages of the game, while France are trying to do their warm-ups and trying to get back into the swing of international rugby. That's when South Africa have to really keep on striking and just, get those points early. Good evening, says Jeremy. Devont not playing because he don't want to lose again. No, it's because he's still injured, I believe. We have got there, make your prediction for this match. I did go 28-18. I think the French might be undercooked for this one, not having played this season. Absolutely. If they played last week, different story. But because this is their first match, and we've got to remember some of these guys who are in this side, the likes of a Thomas Ramos, a Damien Pinot, a Louis Bielbarré, they didn't play in July either. So some of these guys, their last internationals were actually the Six Nations, which is way back in March, I believe it would have been. We hope you're there well on your channel again. Like you are part of the family, says Daryl. We also got there, do you ever sleep? I hopefully will be able to sleep after this live stream for a few hours, but I am currently sick as well, which is why at times I will have to mute while I deal with my nose trying to run off my face. But yeah, hopefully we'll be all right. Get through this matchup. It is kicking off in only around 30 minutes time, which that will absolutely fly by in terms of the build-up. I will mention anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It is always greatly appreciated. You all being here for these matches. Never heard the term undercooked until I started watching Ireland and France. Always an excuse. Says half court. I wouldn't call it an excuse. It's just the unfortunate reality. It's the same as what we saw throughout the July internationals for certain sides. Like, the reality is the amount of value you get from 80 minutes of test match rugby up against anyone in the world is huge compared to if you didn't play that week. You know, like, there is going to be that adjustment period. And that's what we saw in the game between Ireland and New Zealand. That first half, both sides pretty shaky because they just hadn't played any rugby. We have got there, you can do this, says Angela. And well, we're in for a huge game. Grace have something to prove, or France have something to prove, and the Boks know that. And get well soon, says Mr. Waters. Do appreciate it. And who's making excuses? Your spring legs getting whooped today. And never doubt the ability of the Boks to blow themselves up and play badly, says Mike. We have got there, are you a Saint Amish, like you're so selfless, a typical Kiwi giving to others, says John. And real test for Sasha Feinberg and Gumay Zulu, yeah, in a battle in the number 10 jersey up against Roman Intermac in this case. So it is a big test for Sasha. And many were talking about whether or not Andre Pollard should have been considered in this matchup. But Rassi has said, no, we're going with these young attacking options. And mate, your commentary is top class, says Vestal. Thank you very much. And for the love of the game, what is the Kiwi lad's first name, may I ask? And what a marathon of rugby today. Well done. So it is Hamish, which I haven't heard it be too popular in certain areas of the world. You've been a warrior today, Hamish. Thank you for, so much for consistently being awesome. You need to drink your meds, Hamish. We need you fresh and feeling better. Yeah, it's just poor timing as to when I got sick. I should be fine by tomorrow or the next day. If you're a good team, you find a way to win. Winners don't stay undercooked, says half court. Which is why I mentioned how later on in this game, that's when we're going to see France start to find their rhythm, which is why South Africa want to take as much advantage as they can in the first half. If France are down by, I would say, anything more than 10, they probably won't come back into this game. That's just commentary here, or will we show the game as well? It is just the commentary, the play-by-play for this one. I'm looking forward to this one. Possible redemption for the Eden Park loss, says Marius. And also should be cold this time of year in Paris. Should favour the French and playing so late, says Mesha. It's Usher's overrated in my opinion. Good against average opposition, not so good against good opposition, says John Mills. Well, it will be a massive test for the youngster in this matchup. He will be going head-to-head against some of the best players in the world. So I'd like to think that that will tell a lot of people what they need to know about Sasha Feinberg and Ngome Zulu in this case, because if he is able to compete up against France, he will be able to compete against most sides around the world as well. But looking through at South Africa and what they have got coming up, they did play Japan last week, like I mentioned, crucial game. Get your minutes under your belt and then work towards these next November internationals. They are playing the French here. They come in as underdogs for the South Africans, then playing Italy next week, Ireland the week after, and then the Welsh to close out the November internationals. That is actually the latest international fixture that we are seeing out of any side, and that is actually during the same round as the URC. For some of these South African sides. For France, they have not played as of yet. They've got Fiji next week, actually at the same time as Ireland versus Australia, so I have no idea who decided to do that scheduling, but they are not the brightest. And then France versus Australia, that has taken place the week after, close out the November international. So just the 3 games for the French here, similar to Fiji, similar to Italy, and similar to Argentina, but some crucial points can be awarded here in the very near future. We have got the donation from Philip. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated for your generosity. And thanks for the streams today, Hamish. Get well soon. Says Dennis. It is greatly appreciated. And yeah, hopefully, like, that's the thing. We've got the stream tomorrow night between Argentina and Wales. By then, I'd like to think I'll be on the mend and pretty close to being better. And we have got there as well. Hi, Hamish says, Mark, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. I can see the Boks being overwhelmed early on. What do you think? I don't think so. I think that this side are battle-hardened. We saw them win the Tough Rugby Championship, which a lot of people regarded as the closest rugby championship in quite some time. So the only way they'll be overwhelmed early is if they allow themselves to be. Because at the end of the day, a side that are considered world champions, you would think wouldn't get overwhelmed in this type of scenario. They've been to the Stade de France and they have beaten France at this ground only a couple years ago. So they've been there, done that. They've beaten top-class opposition all around the world throughout the Rugby Championship and also the Internationals last year. So I think they'll be ready for this match. Could be a very low scoring if both sides focus on not losing. And France fears Sasha Feinberg-Ngumezulu says it was there from Martin. And also we have got the Boks, going to be a close game, says Rugby Itch there. And Sasha Feinberg-Ngumezulu is definitely not overrated. This is a weird comment. He's still young. So having an off moment here and there is expected. Everybody goes through that. I'm sure he will flourish tonight. And what was the final score in the England game? 38 points to 18 in favour of England. So getting themselves the 20-point victory over the Fijians in that contest. Which honestly, like, I think that both sides will look at that game and say we did some things right. But I think both would have liked a few more. I just don't want any cards. Well, the trend today has been a yellow card in every single game, I believe, that we have covered. Although, did Japan and Ireland have a yellow card? They may have actually missed one in that match. I can't think of one off the top of my head anyway. What does the head-to-head on the bottom middle of the scoreboard mean? It's just on the live scoreboard. It doesn't actually have it, or it would have it if I scroll down further, but it's just based off what they don't know. How many hours have you been awake today? It's a few. All I'll say is this time, 24 hours ago, I was up about 30 minutes away coaching junior cricket. And since then, I've probably had about an hour's or 2 hours sleep. Something around there. There will be 2 yellows. And Miss Quagga, yeah, a bit of a training injury for Quagga Smith, unfortunately. And we have got there, duty New Zealand, got 3 yellows. Says, I am nutty, and here for the Bocky, and also the good commentary, Hamish. Says, Tino Tender. Now we have got their wrong score was 38-24. So I assume you're given the extra try to the Fijians. And that French side looked menacing. Bloody hell. Says Sebastian there. And South Africa does not lose when they play this back line. 2 wins versus All Blacks, 2 wins versus Argentina and Japan. Undefeated, says Half Court. And 3 yellows, really, says Clinton. Yeah, 1 for Wallace Satiti, 1 for Simon Parker, or sorry, not Simon Parker, Leroy Carter. And also 1 for Artie Savia in that match. And going to block a conversion again, says Rugby Itch. And Sasha not overrated. He's just held to a higher standard than Andre Pollard, says Half Court. You're the best, Hamish. Thanks for keeping us updated. And how is it that Andre Pollard is not in the team? They decided not to use him in this scenario, which is a bold call. At the end of the day, Andre Pollard, he seems like the type of player that if they had brought him off the bench later on in this game, he'd be safe, taking the 3 points when available. But the thing is, that's not the way that this South African side want to play. Not this year anyway. They have decided to go more aggressive, start to go for 7-pointers rather than the 3s. So it's as if they've got the confidence that Sasha and Mani will be able to get the attacking job done, that the kicks almost become redundant, even though both men have been kicking extremely well off the tee as of late. As much as I want South Africa to win, I also want it not to go that way. I let it just be a good game, says Roikas. 29-28 to France, says Sam Wilson as the score prediction. So going with the win for the French. Will Sky not show the game until 9 a.m? Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it? I'm currently on the channel that they said it was going to be on, but it is the highlights or the full match replay of Scotland All Blacks first. So we'll get about 10 minutes of build-up, and then from there it's pretty much gone. I'm a rugby fan from Turkey. The country is not broadcast, or sorry, the match is not broadcast in my country. I'm looking for a link to watch the match. Someone share it with me, says Senan. So your best bet's probably to go on that Rugby Pass TV. Or actually, I don't know whether NZR Plus would have it, but those are 2 options that sometimes have free-to-air games for people outside of the regular broadcast areas. Andre Pollard is not on the team because South Africa are moving away from boring rugby, says Half Court. And it'll be great if my more subscribers supported Kiwi Lads financially. They are given the best commentary you will get. Says Philip there. And no Jesse. Is that like no Jesse Creel or just no Jesse in general? Rugby Pass TV doesn't have any of these games, just the qualifiers. Says Youngcomb, bro, you're sick. You've been streaming all night. Thanks, Hamish. This is one. I wish I was watching, says Mark. Yeah, so sadly ended up starting getting sick on Thursday night. Was pretty bad yesterday and then was even worse today, but we weren't going to not do the streams. We're still here. And we have got let's check the oil level in France tonight. Very exciting at this outcome. Well, it's just two great sides going head to head. And there is a lot on the line in the world rankings. I will mention that Australia have had a little bit more of a drop. So they have helped Argentina get into a much better box seat for being within that top six. But we look here, France versus South Africa. Theoretically, if South Africa were to win this game, they would sit as number one in the world rankings. France would drop. But they would still be in fifth. If France win this game, they would go up to third, I believe, in the world rankings. They would go ahead of Ireland and they would go ahead of England, and New Zealand would rank number one in the world rankings. So France not only would help themselves, but they'd also help New Zealand, as well as, I think that's all actually. Now looking at it, Belgium got a nice little boost in their game after beating Namibia in the matchup. I didn't actually realise Namibia were lower than Belgium in the world rankings, but now that I do, that makes sense as to why they were victorious. Uruguay also getting the win over Portugal, although I don't think that's changed anything in the world rankings as of yet. But with the win to Uruguay, I believe they will bump themselves up to probably about 15th in the overall world rankings at the moment. We have got there, I had a, wait, where'd it go? Damn, you just got cold storied. That's cold. Says Kyle H. 4 times world champs. Says Troy. And Jesse is playing, no worries, says Monet Lagrange. You see, that's one slight downside about the fact that they don't show the coverage right up until kickoff here in New Zealand, is you actually don't know what's happening, whether or not there are late changes or anything along those lines taking place, or if it's literally all going smoothly for the two teams. But yeah, this kickoff, we're only about 20 minutes away. It is going to get here very quickly. We've got a few other interesting pop-ups for these two sides, including what South Africa have been able to do throughout this year. Now, I will mention they have had a busy old season, and they look like they are going to be one of the busiest international sides throughout this year. As you can see, the Rugby Championship, they didn't get off to the greatest start in the competition. In fact, they got off to the worst possible start in that case, but they were still able to fire back, and they went on to win that Rugby Championship. Had to dig deep, find a way of getting the job done, and that is just exactly what they've been able to do. And it is not the first time either. This is something that South Africa have been known for, a bit of a trend as of recent times, is being able to get the victories and a couple massive wins in their middle patch, actually scoring 110 points across 2 games, which was absolutely phenomenal from the Springboks. Looking through at what they did in July, they had the game up against the Barbarians. That was actually in late June. Then from there, 2 wins over the Italians and 1 win over the Georgians. It was talked about whether or not South Africa would come into the Rugby Championship a little bit I was going to say undercooked, but I know that that's a term that some people don't seem to like, but whether or not they were tested enough throughout July. And I guess that first game up against the Australians, you could say for a start, no, but once they had that game under their belt, that is when they started really getting their rhythm back. And then what we have seen from France, they had their July internationals up against New Zealand, 31 points to 27. Now, that was a developmental French team, and they were very competitive up against this more experienced veteran New Zealand side. Second match, not so close, and then the third match, a win by 10 in favour of New Zealand. But for the Six Nations, just the one loss for the French. That was by 1 point at Twickenham. They dominated Wales. They got a good win over the Italians, beating the Irish by the 15 points, and then also beating Scotland by 19. They've been stepping in the right direction, but like I said, first game since July for this French side. One moment, I will quickly mute. There we go. Hopefully the nose is going to behave itself throughout this live stream. We have got the watching on Sky Sports. I am. So it is going to be on Sky Sport 1 here in New Zealand. We have got there. What's the point of seeing the rugby field behind you, but we can't watch the match live, or we watch it live on your mouth? Says Peter Stowers. It's just due to the fact that it's not illegal, Peter. Is the basic way of saying it. Like, there are plenty of options around the world to be able to watch it, although unfortunately rugby is one of those ones that is normally behind a paywall, so you do have to get the cash out to be able to watch these games, but it's not us who gets paid. It is, of course, those broadcasters. Are the South African centres too old now? I'd say no. I think that their defensive work, when you've got such a strong attacking backline that they do have here in South Africa, in fact, we're going to pop it up on the screen. When you've got Sasha, you've got Kobus, you've got Arendse, Colby, and Valimza, it is not a bad thing to have some sort of stability in the middle of the park. You know, people were talking about Kane and Moody as a great option at 13, which he probably would have been, but I think that Jesse Creel and Damien de Allende up against this French side, that is the perfect choice for South Africa, because you know what you're going to get with those two. There's no uncertainty. They're both going to have a solid enough game. They're not going to allow France to break through that midfield channel, which is somewhere that the French will try and target at times throughout this game with Gelfiku as well as Barassi. But if you've got that stability, that means they have to take risks. And that's when you see someone like a Chisel and Colby getting an interception because of France throwing the wide cutout pass or a cross kick. So I think by having Jesse Creel and Damien de Allende, that puts more pressure on France to go unorthodox and a little bit more experimental, which plays right into the Springbok backline and their hands. That's my take on it anyway. You could say that I'm completely wrong. Most people do. But that's the way I look at it. I think that going with the stability in the middle gives you a lot more certainty around the fact that France are going to have to try and really throw some interesting stuff out there. We have got there, kia ora, bro. Always good to see you in here. Says Andrew, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. How long have you been awake? It's been quite some time. I managed to get like 2 hours of sleep, but that was a while ago. And then from there, I was up since about 7 a.m. previous morning. So it's been a little while. Rusty, rotate our boys so they can have a break playing younger players is building for 2027. And to Razor do the Razor, says Casper there. And glad Damien is back. France has worries about Colby and first time seeing France playing red. And Khaleesi's century, and is Dr. Rassi a genius, Hamish? What's his IQ? I know that it's relatively high for Rassi, and it is his 50th test match in charge of the Springbok side. Get 5 lines of Lemsip in you. You'll be fine, bro, says Kyle H. And also, you look like you got the second wind, Hamish, says Graham. It's because I'm trying to hold back a sneeze. And normally when I'm holding back a sneeze, it makes me feel slightly more awake. But it's about to hit me very soon. So we're going to try and avoid it. But looking through at the benches, that is actually something we haven't done as of yet on this live stream. Let's look through at who the options are later on in this contest for the French. They've got some very handy players. Tolfa Fanua was rumoured to not even be playing here up against the Springboks due to an injury, but he is back. They've also got Jojo alongside Arudo. And then Maxime Luku. He's actually my impact player off the bench that I think the Springboks need to watch out for the most. One of those players that extremely underrated. Now, it's always talked about Dupont, and that's pretty much it when it comes to the halfbacks from France. But Legatic's in good form. Luku is a very handy halfback option. I do think that is where maybe he can get that little bit of an edge, but he's playing up against Grant Williams. He's in some great form at the moment for the South Africans. Also, Arge Snyman is there. Andre Estes, and the question of whether or not he's going to be playing as a bench forward or a bench back at this stage is still unanswered, and we won't actually know that until he makes his way onto the field. I would say it's probably going to be injury-based, though, for Andre Estes in there. And how's it from GQ, Hamish? Says Sean, hope you're doing well. Vicks Vapor Rub, I've already got plenty of it on my chest, and I'm hoping that that's going to help. Some Manuka honey from Nelson. And hi, buddy, did you know Rassi predicted all the France players a week in advance and 100% correct? It wasn't a week in advance, though. It was a day or so beforehand, and it was after the French papers had already announced the side. So, don't get me wrong, Rassi loves his mind games, and he's normally pretty good at them, but the team had already been said at the time that Rassi said, this is the team that I think they're going to select. So, it wasn't as impressive as a lot of people have made it out to be, unfortunately. But I think that's something that is impressive is the way that Rassi has been able to rotate this team and still has some great depth available there. One moment, I'm quickly going to mute. There we go. We are good. And also we have good there. I hope you got some medication down you for this one. I've taken multiple different medications. including I keep on taking these tablets, which are supposed to be good for your throat, but they keep on making my throat numb. So then I feel like I can't feel my tongue in my throat. And much appreciated, by the way. Hamish, you are a gem dude. Says Graham there. And get well soon, who says Dexter. Do appreciate that. Disciplinary enough. How's it? Hamish says Kyle. Welcome in. And also we have got the I Mr. H. Go the box. Says Memento in there too. And we can't beat France at their game, I reckon. Which I believe is exactly why we have seen the fact that they've gone with Sacha and Mani rather than Andre Pollard. Andre Pollard would play straight into the French game style that they would go for. How's it, Hamish? Says Sakele. Welcome in. Hope you're doing extremely well. And you need a hot redhead to rub your chest with Vicks or Nutella. Yeah, I don't know how much Nutella would help with the cold, to be fair. And hi, Hamish, how you doing? Says Dessa, welcome in. Hope you're doing extremely well. Hope you are excited for this match. Can see the France or French winning this one. So I do want to know your score predictions, ladies and gents. Of course, there is plenty more international rugby coming just around the corner. These are all of the matches next week. Of these matches, we are going to be covering Samoa versus Namibia. Not sure about Belgium, Brazil as of yet. We'll see what happens there. Italy versus South Africa, we are doing. England versus New Zealand. Hoping to do Wales versus Japan, but that one's 50-50. And then these two games, I don't know why they overlap. It's the worst possible time for them to overlap, as there's so many other game times that they could have gone with. But we're doing one or two of those games. If I can find myself a guest, one of them hopefully is still watching on the channel at the moment, and we'll be able to say yes, he will absolutely do the game. And then on overlap on Monday as well. Uruguay versus New Zealand 15 and Scotland versus Argentina. So we'll probably end up doing the Scotland-Argentina game in that regard. We have good there. Good morning, Hamish. Nice and early for you. Great to be with you again. Shame get better, says Peter Oosterhuizen. Yeah, nice early morning start for us here in New Zealand, or late night, depending on whether or not anyone did the all-nighter for those matches that were taking place all throughout the evening. We've seen Japan versus Ireland. We've seen multiple Rugby World Cup qualifying matches. We've seen Scotland, New Zealand, and also recently England versus Fiji, as well as Australia versus Italy. There's one big upset. And there as well, we have got there should be 4 from 4 for the Southern Hemisphere, says Memento. So I assume you don't count Fiji in there. I guess you'd go on Rugby Championship sides, right? Your what background or stadium on your background of your feed. So this is the Stade de France. It's a very nice looking stadium. They also do some great light shows there as well. Good to see you again. Says France, greatly appreciate you being here. And Chris is here too. So yeah, I hope you are doing extremely well. I hope you guys are excited. We're only 10 minutes away from the kickoff, ladies and gentlemen. It is going very quickly. We have got NK has become a channel member, so greatly appreciated. What time is kickoff? It is at 10 p.m. for you guys in South Africa. So quite a late night game compared to some of the matches that we have seen in South African time, but we are going to be covering it from start to finish on the channel. Hamish has red here, says Clint D. I have like 3 or so on my beard, I think, but I'm not sure about other than that. Hamish, let's hear your best French accent. You really don't want that. That would be worse than any singing or any accent I could really do. Something about the French names just don't quite roll off my tongue, unfortunately. I hope Angus Gardner refs a fair match. Who was your player of the match from the Scotland game, bro? I would have probably given it to Damien McKenzie for what he was able to do off the bench, but I also feel like Satiti, with the exception of his yellow card, did well. And Josh Lord actually really did step up in that matchup too, which was fantastic to see. And we have got there, it's on TNT Sports. Says, I am nutty, and this will go down to the wire, methinks. Not easy to win in Paris in a grudge match. A passionate crowd, I'm going 30-28 to France. Says Vlad. And there, do one moment, I'll quickly sneeze. We are hopefully going to get all the sneezes out of the way before this match does get under. And if we don't, I'm going to have a very sore nose by the ends of it. You got sinus, me too, such a drip, says Tessa, although I've actually got a cold this time. I know that last week I had the hay fever on the streams, but this week I've actually caught a cold, which sucks, because, it's international rugby. It's a busy time of the year. When will Samoa and Belgium play for the World Cup's final spot? I believe that is actually, I want to say it's Sunday and overlaps next week, or it might be the week after. Oh, actually, I take that back. I think it's midweek that one has taken place. So, I would definitely recommend checking that one out. We have got there, what happened to Rugby Guru? I believe he's live at the moment. I don't think he would have gone anywhere. And also we have got there, I hope you haven't got the Bolivian flu, says Andrew. And what's hanging from that left nostril, Hamish? Says Francois. Hopefully nothing too much. Probably just the... It's quite funny. My nose is so smooth at the moment. I get better. And early time go the box. Your ears are going to be blood red too, says Clint D. He's sitting on wet grass somewhere. But both of these sides ready to make their way out onto the field at their Stade de France in this contest. And let's go the mighty Springboks. 4 times world champ, says Johnny Blaze. And hopefully South Africa win this and denies France the revenge. And yeah, the thing is, if France manage to win this game, there is a very big rivalry that will continue to build because, of course, these two sides, the next time that they play, you look at the fact that South Africa knocked France out of their home World Cup. To do that to a side hurts. And France, like it's been mentioned, they want revenge. They want to take down this box side and say, you know what, you knocked us out of that World Cup, but we're going to knock you down to number 2 in the world rankings and boost ourselves up to 3 and try and get that little bit closer by the end of November. The Rugby World Cup draw is just around the corner. What happened to Rugby Guru? Once again, he is still live, I believe, unless he's disappeared. I was looking forward to seeing Eben play. Again, Roofy's my favourite. And also we've got there South Africa all the way, says Patrick there. And hello from Cape Town, go the box, says Lauren. And there too, and something that they do always brilliantly at the Stade de France is the light shows, the fireworks, and just the light show that they do off. I think I said light show twice. We have got there, thank you as always. For the commentary, Hamish, says David. I remember France cheating in 2022, crawling over the try line, says RJJ. And also, bro, what about the stadium? Light show, fire flames, this is a low-key, hella cool, says Johnny Blaze. And come on the box, beat the Froggies. Did D-Mac play number 10 or fullback today? He came off the bench and straight away brought that impact like he normally would for the New Zealanders. He just seems to make that difference when he's out there, Damian McKenzie. But what we are going to do, ladies and gents, as these two sides are getting ready to make their way out onto the field, we're going to be comparing them. First of all, South Africa, Rugby Championship, they were victorious. 19 points on the board. They were able to beat New Zealand with that points differential of an extra whole 49 points in their favour. Now, they were able to beat New Zealand by a hefty margin. They beat Argentina by a bigger one. You could actually argue that Argentina should have been third because Australia got 2 bonus points for a forward pass that they shouldn't have received, but that's neither here nor there. But a very competitive rugby championship, but won in the end by the world champs. In terms of the Six Nations, we saw France get themselves the victory there. 21 points on the board from their 5 matches. Now, I will also mention they only lost the 1 game. That was to the English, and that was a 1-point thriller at Twickenham. 1 point, something that is familiar with these two sides when playing each other. And I would not be one bit surprised if it's only a few points that separate these two teams. Sio Kolisi leading out the side for his 100th match. A massive milestone for the Springbok skipper. Knows how important this game is. Did you get that goal from South African? Not that I know of. But, yeah, terrible timing, like I mentioned. Out of all the weekends to have the cold, it's probably the worst out of all of them. But it happens. We've managed to power through the rest of the games. We're only 5 minutes away from the kickoff of this contest. I'll be able to sleep a little bit afterwards. We're doing all good. And how can you be disappointed when you see these two sides walking out of the tunnel here at the Stade de France? We saw Jesse Creel, one of the more experienced heads for the Springbok side, although not as experienced as Eben Etzebeth, a man with a little bit of pressure on him heading into this contest after a bit of a lackluster couple games in the URC. But when he puts on that international kit, Eben normally manages to find that next gear, and that's what he'll want to find here. You're doing a great service, Hamish. Well done, says Patrick. And we have got there nobody that backs South Africa realise how wounded France really are, says Casper. But the thing is, if you back a wounded animal into a corner, they will normally fight you. And I feel like that is the case with this French side. People have been saying that they're down and out, and that maybe they aren't considered as competitive at the moment as the world champion Boks, but that's kind of one of those ones that you do at your own peril. Because France have been underestimated before, and that's when they cause quite a few upsets. But then that's the same with South Africa. These two sides, this is a statement that's going to get me in trouble, big time. And I don't mean by the amount of titles that they won or anything, but these two sides have some similarities in their journeys. Now, of course, one of them, like I mentioned, has got those World Cups up their sleeves, but they're not actually that different in terms of the story and in terms of the building of depth and whatnot, the coaches, the out there personalities, and having a nation that is either firmly behind you or firmly against you. It's just, it's a weird full circle in that regard. Flashbacks to the 2023 World Cup, and currently the national anthem is being sung by the South African side. Before we get into that French national anthem and then underway in this match, only about 3 minutes away. I see the captain tonight, Hamish. Will he maybe be playing 40 minutes? I'm not sure how long they're going to give Kolisi, but he is the captain, and only one can scrum. So here's RJJ. I mean, both of them are huge scrum backs, though. Is this just the commentator? It will just be me for this one due to licensing. Any match footage or audio would get us taken straight off YouTube, so sadly unable to show anything in that regard. But we will be doing the play-by-play commentary all throughout the matchup. Very cautious. Think of the Box team are on track to sweep this series, entering an era comparable to the Golden ABs of 2011 to 2015. We want South Africa to lose its neutrals to deflate sales. Says I am nutty. And also French fight, but so do we personality and all. We live hard knocks lives. And that's why Box fight for themselves and the nation, says Brett. Do you remember how that last match started at the Rugby World Cup, says Mark? I can actually give you more than just the start. I can give you the play-by-play of that last contest, because these two sides are known for explosive starts. Will this get taken down for showing a pirate stream rather than an official source? Absolutely. And in fact, that would probably be worse than showing an official source, because then I'm also committing copyright infringement and then redistributing it, if that makes sense. And does he get one of those ridiculous caps like the ABs get when they get to 100? Says John, I assume there'll be some sort of special thing for Sia Kolisi. The man has thoroughly earned his stripes in that Springbok kit, but looking through at the last time these two sides played, 29 points to 28. The try in the 4th minute for Cyril Bai. Then from there we saw Kurtley Arendse fire back in the 8th. Damien Dialendi was able to score. Then Pietro Malvaca, he is not playing in this game. Cheslin Colby scored. Eben Etzebeth got himself a yellow card in the game. Cyril Bai and Eben Etzebeth came back on after his yellow to then get himself a try. The French singing a cappella at the moment for their national anthem. And we have got their Box, let's go. And now I am about to sneeze for hopefully the last time before the kickoff of this contest, ladies and gents. 1 second. We are good to go. Hopefully. Surely Samoa lost to Chile. So they are not exactly great, Samoa. Yeah, although they've got a lot of their players back now. Now, I will mention Cyril Bai. He scored 2 tries in that last match for the French. In fact, it was only their front rowers who were able to score. So using that big physicality up front, bless you, says Carlin. And then I am and everyone says Lilia B. Welcome it up. You're doing extremely well. But this match just about to get underway between these two great sides. The winner of the Six Nations versus the winner of the Rugby Championship. Quick look through at the lineups before we get into it. Adorcio in the front row alongside Julio Marchand and Matanya as their number 3. No Yui Antonio. No Cyril Bai. Quite a few absences in this front row, but then that is the same that can be said about the South African side. At this point in time, Flamont and Miafu will be the locking duo. Jalange alongside Bodian and also Gilliard slotting in as the number 8. My nose does not want to stop running. Lee Garrick is the number 9 with Intermax slotting in at 10. Fiku and Barassi in the midfield with Biel Biarre out on one wing. Damien Pinot out on the other. And Thomas Ramos will slot in as the number 15 for the Springboks. In their starting lineup, it is Boan Fenta, Malcolm Marks and Thomas Tatoy. So 2 changes compared to what we saw last week up against the Japanese. Eben Etzebeth and Lutiacha will make up the locking duo. Sia Kolisi in his 100th match as the 6th. Peter Tatoy at 7 and Jasper Visa slotting in as that number 8. Backline is dangerous for the Box. Kobus Reinach, Sasha Feinberg, Ngame Zulu, Damien Dialendi and Jesse Creel, the experience in the midfield there. And then Kurtley Arendse, Cheslin Colby and Damian Valimza is there as the number 15. But we are just about ready to go for this matchup, ladies and gentlemen. Angus Gardner, the man in charge of this matchup, the Australian with the whistle in hand. France are going to be kicking off from right to left. And we are underway between these two sides at their Stade de France. The South Africans, they are wearing the white kit. The French are in their usual blue. for this contest. And Reinach will be able to roll this one back. Been told to use it by Gardner. I believe he will just look to put this one down the middle of the field. Going up for it was Cheslin Colby, and manages to win it under the high ball. Already some great work coming from Colby. Now kicking behind Sasha Feinberg. Ngame Zulu may have got too much of that one. He's going to pull up just short of the French goal line, and Intermac off the side of his boot. He almost put it into touch. I think that's come off better Steph Toy's hands. So it does mean that it will be a French line out from about 35 metres from their own line. And go the box, says one Pierre Bosch. And come on the box, says Nani there. And go box, says Brent. So a lot of support going the way of the Springboks in this contest. The first minute has passed. The nerves are still going to be well and truly out there for these two sides as Julio Malchon just tries to dry the ball off a little bit more. But dewy out there at the moment because of the fact that this is, I believe, a 9 p.m. local time kickoff. Nicely taken. Oh, that was maybe a little bit of a pre-engagement there from South Africa. Yes, it was. So the penalty advantage in favour of the box. Ligarek going to the captain. Gelfiku offloads it. Ligarek with the no-look pass out the back door. Now Ramos running it forward. Here comes BLBRA. Got plenty of pace, but back there covering was Kurtley Arendse. And thank you for your phenomenal coverage as always, says Nico. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Where are you watching this match? It is on Sky Sport 1. Here in New Zealand, ball in the hands of France, but they have knocked it on. And just the 100 seconds in, we get the first scrum of the contest here. I'm about to sneeze once again, ladies and gents, but luckily we have got the break in play very quick. There we go. I do apologise for having to mute so much. It was the worst possible time for me to get sick just yesterday before the live stream. Or before the live streams, I should say. We've had multiple already. Had to deal with it all throughout the day. So hopefully we can just get through this one without too many troubles. The throat's fine, which is fantastic news. But there was some great work in the breakdown early on. Putting the pressure on the box. France pack is actually heavier. They've got some big boys in their 4-pack. 929 kgs compared to the 920 of the South Africans. As Meafu on the bench, he was in the initial starting lineup. And that's a big push from the box. Ball comes out the side. There was an advantage in their favour. Damien Dialendi, actually the man who was attempting the cross kick. Awkward bouncing ball. It goes out. And it will now be the line-out chance for France there again. Are you feeling any better than earlier? It would be great if my nose would stop running. That's the one thing that's been the problem. Like tiredness-wise, I'm all good. Sore throat, not even on the cards. But it's just the nose that just wants to keep on running around like these guys out there on the Stade de France field. That's causing me the troubles. You sounding fine, mate? Says Fleshin. Yeah, if anything, I think my voice is lasting better than it normally would. But now, Gilliard taking that line out again. Big collision from the Springboks to be able to slow down that momentum straight away. Now trying to move this one. Likarek does go high. Damien Pinot chasing after it, going up for it. Knocked into the hands of the French. Good position on the field now to try and get something going. Sasha almost got his head on the wrong side there. Got to be very careful rushing up in the way that he did. Now Intermac passes across to Thomas Ramos. Going sideways. Little chip in behind. Kurtley Arendse caught off his line. Sits up with Damien Pinot. The French are in early. 4 minutes into the contest. It's a repeat of what we saw in that Rugby World Cup quarter-final. But this time it is not a prop. It is a winger. And it is Damien Pinot who does score the try. That is a big moment there. And it is exactly what they would have been after early in this contest. Damien Pinot, they noticed that Kurtley Arendse was not covering back. So it meant that they could put that kick in behind. That is the danger of someone like a Roman Intermac. Always finds those spaces and they get the early lead with Damien Pinot. We had that one in the 4th minute of the contest. The dream start for the French here. Let's let it run. It's all good, pal, says Matthew. And what is the point in watching you, says Gerhard. So it is for the ones who either want to have a chat while the game is on, or also for the ones who don't have the availability of watching, whether that's due to restrictions or financials. So we just sit here, we have a good time on the streams. You don't have to stay, of course, but quite a few people just come for a chat while these games are on. That is a good kick from Thomas Ramos as it goes over, making the score now 7 points to 0. And we have there go the bok. Says Posisa, hopefully I've said that correctly. I love your pronunciation on both teams. Almost a slight South African accent. Says Kramer there, but Damien Pinot does manage to score himself the first try in this contest already. Oh, I do want to mention he was starting out on the right wing for that Rugby World Cup quarter-final. Did not score on the day. Did you take a shot, says Daniel. I did not take any shot, but Thomas Ramos took a shot at the post and managed to get it. That ball's not coming out of the rolling ball for France, which gives the Springboks the scrum feed opportunity about 15 metres out from the French line. Thomas Ramos laser-like kicking accuracy. And the Boks wake up, do you think? Absolutely. There's still time in this game. They've got 74 minutes to be able to find their rhythm, and this is one of the aspects of the game that they will absolutely love, which is the scrum time. You got that front row of Edosio alongside Montagna as the two in the propping department for the French. You've got Brian Fenta and Thomas Dutoy. And can I watch the match anywhere for free? I think someone said it's on TNT Sports, but I don't think that's free, unfortunately. I don't think there's a huge amount of free options for this match, which is a massive shame because I feel like it's one that a lot of people would want to watch from all around the world. Enjoy the game, guys. Good luck, Bok. Your prediction now at this moment, I'm still going 28-18 in favour of South Africa, although it's, of course, not the start that they would have been after conceding early. Big scrum here, and it's the push coming from South Africa. They don't get themselves the penalty advantage. Flat run forward from Damien Dialendi. Mr. Consistency in that midfield. Big collision with Jasper Vesa. Now Reinhardt with a sniping run there. 15 metres out, straight in front of the post here for the Springboks. Going off to the right-hand side. Two-man chop and tackle on Eben Etzebeth. Bit of a counter-ruck from France, and they win the penalty too. Trying to target the Springboks veteran, and they've done just that. I mean, Georgia says grip it. And also, where's Antonio? I think he's injured at the moment, Yui Antonio. And Eben Etzebeth, he's got a face full of blue. I don't know what he's done. He's headbutted one of the sponsors on the field, I would say. Kind of looks like when a kid gets told to not eat the chocolate or the cake on their birthday and you come back in the room and then that's what's on their face. Eben Etzebeth, he has face planted the ground big time there. Oh, never mind. It's actually from the shin of the French player. He kind of rubbed it on Eben Etzebeth's head in the breakdown, and that's what caused the blue. Yeah, why is he blue? It was from a French player's leg who obviously got tackled on the sponsors part. I'm having a banana boy pizza for my halftime snack, says John. Oh, piercing run from Julien Monchamp as the French move up towards the halfway line. Oh, back across. Oh, big collision there. Peter Steph Toy going in a little bit high. And a penalty goes the way of South Africa this time. It's Jasper Vesa. Now, in fact, Malcolm Marks locking over the ball, getting the steal. Turn your phone to your screen and commentate from behind. You're too smart for that, unfortunately, in terms of the YouTube copyright infringement system. Like, if you have glasses or anything like that, they even get you as well. Eben's face so blue. Says Tessa there. But it looks like they are actually going to look for the 3 points here for the South Africans. Sasha Feinberg Ngume Zulu gets the early kicking opportunity for the South Africans. Now, they have got him in the starting lineup. Mani Libok making his way off of the bench. Are we going to hear you talking, or are you going to show us the match? I am talking. It is the live commentary for the game. Once again, it is pretty well known that any match footage shown on YouTube gets you taken straight down with a copyright strike and also potentially sued. So, I mean, it's just cheaper to buy the game than it is to pay for the lawsuit. But that one's going off to the side. Or is it? No, it comes back round for Sasha, gets it over. And that's going to make the score now 7 points to 3. He started off a little right, but it did have a little bit left on it to come back around. My money is on France, says Jake Toa. Can you put mirror behind you? That also, sadly, is something that YouTube are aware of. And South Africa getting beaten by the Smurfs. Wearing a welding helmet, so it reflects the screen. I've seen Damien Pinot in the flesh. Flesh, probably the best winger out there, and I've seen Colby in the flesh as well. Don't listen to these whiners. Thanks for the commentary, man. Says Buzz Lightyear. Buzz Lightyear. I don't know why I struggle with that so much. I've seen Toy Story a few times. Inside of the 22 now for the South Africans. Cobus Reinhardt kicking it up. I didn't know you were reading the comments. Says Tamia there. Do try my best to get through as many comments as we can. And any that I miss, I normally go back and read, so be sure to be nice. We're currently 40 metres out from the line here. Ball in the hands of Barassi. Now, Legachek Back across into Mac, finds Gelfiku, tries to pass on the outside, but it goes behind Damien Pinot. It does go into touch. It's going to be a nice line-out opportunity now for Malcolm Marx and the Springboks. We have got there. Do you have a running count on how many times you explain it? Honestly, it would be more than the live streams that we've done so far. We've done about 2,000 live streams on the channel. I probably described why we can't show the game at least 5,000, if not 10,000. France wins. Hamish has to take his shirt off. Now you're just getting too keen, Jake. Viva la France, says Obi. Now we have got then a new channel member, Kimberly. Thank you very much. You have access to those emojis, including the Springbok one. We will pop it up in the corner just for a little brief moment. There you go. You get access to that emoji. The one up in there. One of those two sides. I think it's one of them. But yeah, that Springbok emoji on the channel as well. Looks like Arges Sneyman. He's getting ready to make his way onto the field. I didn't actually see. I think it's a Lutiacha HIA. Oh no. It's not going to be Arges Sneyman though. It's going to be Ruan Nokia who makes his way on. And game is live on YouTube. Says Julian there. Please explain to me why we play in white. You never understand why we play in green and when in white, says Xander. So it's normally the alternative strip of the box when they are away from home. Although normally it's the home side that give way. But yeah, Lutiacha, he seems a little bit confused at the moment. So hopefully he is going to be all right. But it is going to be the line out now for South Africa. They are sitting 38 metres out from the try line. Nicely taken by Peter Steftatoy, Kobus Reinach. Now, going across, little chip. Attempted, it's going to go dead. Yes, it does. Just a little bit too much on it. Why does the guy say he sound like an owl? Says Battlenomics. AI amazingly patient, Hamish. Thanks for covering all these games. Much appreciated, says Richard there. The kick in behind, just a little bit too much from South Africa, so they will go back to where that kick was taken from. Hitley Ardenson disappointed not to quite catch up for that one. How do I believe what you're saying? Let's have a quick peek, man. Well, as soon as I show any footage, I get taken straight off YouTube and be unemployed for 3 months. Well, not really unemployed, just unhobbied for 3 months, I guess you could say. We have got there, let's go South Africa. And we have got there as well. Hi, man, says Ollie. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Scrum feed here for the French pack. They have got the 9 kg scrum advantage at the moment. Now, Ligarek ready to put this ball in. And also we've got the good accent bro. And come on the box, says Kimberly. Now ready to put this ball in. Ligarek, that's a big push from South Africa. They get themselves the scrum penalty. And you can see how fired up they are. Malcolm Marx just letting the French know all about it there. And this is an opportunity to take another 3 points if they want it for South Africa. When are you deflecting to Australia with all the other Kiwis? Says Jake there. And hope to see Ardeget the Vikings soon. So yeah, he's going to be making his way off the bench. It looked like very early, but he's going to be making his way probably around that 50-minute mark, I would say, is where we see Ardeget make his way on. But yeah, a little bit of afters there. Kobus Reinhardt getting right in the face of the props, telling them how good his scrum is. I was hoping Fiji would beat England. We get a hot lemon tea at half-time. You need the rest, Hamish. I will not get the chance to, but we will be having something after the stream more than likely. We have got there, you're a cool dude, like your humour, bud, says Antonio. That one has gone over from Sasha Feinberg Ngame Zulu, making the score now 6 points to 7, just ticking away at the points at this point in time. There is no rush in this contest. At the end of the day, the last time these two sides played, it was separated by 1 point. So, as long as you're winning by 1 at the end of the 40 minutes, or more so the 80 minutes, you're completely fine. Team colours have been changed to accommodate viewers with colour blindness, says Jimmy. I remember they mentioned about it a while ago that the colourblind viewers of rugby make up about 0.5% of viewers. So they do it just to make sure that they are able to experience the game the same way that the other 99.5% do. That one's going to be a penalty going the way of South Africa. Nice one, Sasha, brother. And great commentary, thanks so much. Says Deirdre there. Did I say that correctly? I feel like I butchered your name last time, didn't I? Now ready to kick this one towards the touchline for Sasha Feinberg Ngame Zulu. And it's quite good. Broken his nose again, Hamish. Is that why he's not on the bench? I think it's some sort of little training injury for his leg, I want to say, or ankle. That might have been why Kwacha was out. Now Sasha Feinberg Zulu, he will be able to kick this one towards the sideline. Does just that. Gets some pretty decent distance on it as well. What's your weekday job? It is a builder/labourer. Now the Sharks are bad with half this team. Why should normal people suffer because of colourblind? Says Leon. If you must say, what is your actual job? So yeah, a bit of a labourer during the week. You're pronouncing the G comes well out the throat. Says Stealth. I think that's I should say thanks, shouldn't I, for that one. Where you watch it on Sky Sport 1 here in New Zealand, but currently the Boks, they are sitting 35 metres out from the line. Damien Dialendi with the pick and go around the side. Covers Reinach. Goes across to Ruan Nokia. Now pick and go from better Steph to Toy, trying to get those couple extra metres. Boks are in a position here, if they can win themselves another penalty, you tick over that scoreboard. Samoro, though, Ramos gets the kick from in behind, looking for the 50-22 of his own. That is a fantastic kick from Ramos, but it won't quite tick into touch. Almost a knock on for Damien Valimza on the short side, running out of space, but somehow keeps the ball alive and gets it to Ruan Nokia. And Deirdre for the pronunciation, my apologies. I knew that I butchered it last time, and I feel like that's probably what I called it last time too, wasn't it? And now 15 minutes in, Reinach inside of his 22 will go for the box kick now. That one goes slowly towards the sideline, well claimed by the French in the end off the knock-on of Kutliarense. Now up to the halfway. Ligarek, a little bit slow retreating there. I believe it was Flamand. Another offload coming from France. Trying to keep this ball out of the breakdown as much as they physically can. Big run from Montagne. Back into the pocket, Ramos. Going for the up and under. Louis Bialbiaré looking to go up for this one. And versus Chesley and Colby. I think Bialbiaré has got that ball. Yes, he does. Was knocked backwards initially. Don't critique pronunciation when other names are in other language. Says Michael, now backline movement, trying to kick him behind. Nicely claimed by Sasha. Tries a grubber of his own. Intermac jumps on it. They have a lot of pressure on him. 3 Springboks getting in there. A good ball security by the French yet again. So used to saying Cyril Bailly in that number 1 jersey. It almost came out instinctively, but it is Adosio in that 1 jersey. France and South Africa is arguably the most entertaining fixture. Well, it's just a battle with styles, isn't it? These two sides, I mentioned about it before the match. There are similarities, which I don't think either side likes to admit. But, this is one of those games that will just be straight up back and forth all throughout the 80 minutes. Damien Valimza trying to milk the offside penalty. He's done well there. Valimza smiles at the ref and says, yep, you saw what I was trying to do. Pretty much threw the ball into the hands of Miafu and said, hey, you're not supposed to be here. We'll take the penalty, thank you. And France or Japan? Our name's more difficult to pronounce. I would say France, 110%. But now, looks like Sasha has got the option of either taking on the 3 points or going for the corner. Looks like the T is on the field, so they will be going for the 3. In fact, I think they've called it as a tackle off the ball here on Eben Etzebeth rather than Damien Valimza's one trying to milk it. We have there, where are they on the field? So this one will be about 49 metres out on the angle for Sasha Feinberg and Zulu on the far side of the field. And he is sitting 2 from 2 today. And with this kick, it would give them the lead. Or the way you try and pronounce the players' names, the way that they would have pronounced in their home country. Says, in this one, misses away to the right-hand side for Sasha. So sorry, but what do I type in to watch your live commentary? Says Jody. So, unfortunately, we are just the kind of radio commentary. We aren't able to show any match footage or anything like that. There aren't really many options on YouTube. A lot of them get taken down straight away. You're doing the Kiwi vs Samoa League final tomorrow. We certainly are. Hopefully by then the cold would have sorted itself out a little bit. Now taken around the halfway line off the 22 dropout from the French. And come on the box. Says Craig there as well. Pass back across Ruan Nokia. He's still out there on the field for Ludiache, who has not returned. Now this one's kicked high. And that one's going to go into touch, but it is going to be the penalty going the way of South Africa. That is going to be for offside. Oh. Okay, it's offside. Okay, Galfiku just getting a little bit of a warning here. He was arguing that penalty, and the refs just said, listen, there's a few too many penalties at the moment up against the French, and this is going to be another chance for Sasha to add 3 if he does want it. In South Africa, we give you a med lemon and a shot of brandy. You'll be sorted by the morning, says Kim. But they have called for the shot again now. Score's still 6 points to 7. There's one good thing for for Sasha in this match, and he is getting plenty of kicking practice out there on the field. Our 3-point penalties shall blot out the sun, says Kyle H. We have got there, how can discipline be better when the ref is looking for someone to penalise? And we have got the new channel member, FBT, so you now have access to those emojis on the channel as well. But Sasha, he misses it away to the right-hand side again. 2 in a row missed for Sasha Feinberg Zulu, and now sitting 2 from 4 with the 50% kicking accuracy. We have got there, Hamish. It's an absolute pleasure listening to your commentary while I'm working. And thank you for doing this, says Nikolai. No worries at all. We have got more coming tomorrow. The Rugby League match taking place between New Zealand and also Samoa. And then later on, we've got the match between Argentina and Wales. There's also a World Cup qualifying match in Rugby League for South Africa. Now, I'm not actually covering it on the channel, but I'll be keeping an eye on it, see how they go, see whether or not they've got a chance for that next World Cup. Now kicked to behind from Sasha again. Just a little bit of aimless kicking there. Coming from the box, just giving up opportunities with ball in hand. There's some swift work in the breakdown, trying to steal it straight back. This one's gone high. Pinot slaps it back, but it goes into the hands of Jasper Vesa. Now Julian Marchand, what a jackal that is. Looking for the offload, knocked on by Kurtli Arendse. And they'll go back for the penalty. That's why we play in the shade. And that's why you need Pollard around, says Cobus. And Bok, you can do this. There should be a walk in the park, says Hope. That is the penalty for leaving the feet in the breakdown, going against Damien Willems. In fact, no, they called it as a deliberate knock-on. And Demek with the chance to be able to kick this one to the sideline. And let's get this video to 1K, says Michael. Yeah, anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button as well as leave a like on the stream too. As Fitzroy Flats still going to New Zealand. I don't know if they've made a new one. I know that the old school classic one still gets thrown around every once in a while. Now, going off to the left-hand side, attack and run from Barassi. Now another step from Roman Intermac. Doesn't often like to take that collision. Definitely not up against a big forward pack like this. Normally is more so the ringmaster in that 10 jersey. Julian Marchand. Pick and go. France wouldn't mind getting themselves a penalty advantage at some stage in the near future. Now Gelange going back to Barassi. Ruan Nokia, he is half covered in green. And that is not due to the kit, that is due to the paint on the field. Now sitting about 27 metres out from the line. Intermac. Cross kick attempted again. Damien Willems back this time to be able to take the mark. We lost our visual picture, bad weather in the storm somewhere. And Harris Smith. And also, please start doing the Warriors games next season, says Sander. I've heavily considered it. It's just those overlaps with Super Rugby that I always worry that I'm going to get the hang of doing the Warriors games and then have to not do many of them because of overlaps. But anytime that there isn't a Super Rugby game, I'll try my best to be able to do it. Ludiacha, he will be returning from his HIA. So that's going to be for Ruan Nokia. What does your heart say for the win? Wouldn't a French revenge be a great thing to see, says Duncan. My score prediction, I am still going 28-18 in favour of South Africa. The reason behind that, I have to say, there wasn't as much rust with the French side as I did expect. But I feel like the fact that the Springboks have played that rugby championship, as well as that game last week up against Japan, they should be more battle-hardened and ready for this contest, which is going to heavily benefit them, I believe, in the last about 20 minutes. We have got there's the stadium packed. It is completely full for this game, as you would expect when these two sides go head-to-head, close to the short side, somehow staying in the field of play for Julian Marchand. The ball is available for the French Galficu, running it flat. Now Legaric going back across there. Good attacking leg drive from Baudient. Now Gelange goes across to Odosio. Now offloads to Gelange again. Coming through was Ludiache. Last thing that he wants is to end up with another head knock In this case, little kick him behind, attempted by Roman into Mac. Miscommunication at the back. Drop ball from Damien Valimza. And Jesse Creel has to clean it up. 2 metres out from their own line here. South Africa scrambling to keep the ball on their side. I thank you, Hamish, for the commentary, even though you aren't well. Says Heather. Yeah, like I said, as long as the nose doesn't run, I'm all good. Like, the throat's fine, no headache. There was a fever earlier on, but that's now gone. So, you know, just as long as the nose behaves itself, we're completely fine. Now, Kibis Reinach, kicking this one downfield again. Doesn't manage to find touch. Roman into Mac. Tries to step, gets around. Seal Colesis. Tackle attempt now. Liga Hick going on the short side. Another offload from Gelange. Barassi. Still 22 metres out from the line. Counter ruck coming from South Africa. I think they've done enough to take this ball, or have they? No, back on the side of the French. Now Gilliard, a young standout from the French series of New Zealand. Now Gelan again. Mention me please, says Mikel there. Oh, someone told very sternly no by the referee. Now Matanya, they can go around the side. Thomas Toy just having a communication session there with Angus Gardner to see whether or not he is allowed to go for it. Players on top of him, so Evan Etzebeth is not ruled as not rolling away in that breakdown. Hamish has big hooters. How can you tell? Now, 20 metres out from the line, Leharek again trying to slap away the Springbok players into Mac. This time going to try and run it here for the Boks. They've tried to kick the last few times, which I think South Africa were ready for. But now 15 metres out, Gilliard again, and that is going to be the penalty advantage in favour of the French. Malcolm Marx just grabs that ball, decides they're not going to use that one quickly, and instead now they have the option of either going for the 3, going for the corner. 16th, as said F, your mother. I don't know what you do in your household, mate, but we don't do that here. But now, looking at the option into Mac, I think they might consider the stream, consider the 3 in this case. Wilco Lowe as a replacement tie here, correct? That is correct, yes, alongside Gerhard Stennekamp as that number 1. And we have got the Echo Story Dubin as well. And just kidding, I love you, Hamish. Says one there. And he's some good old South African Vicks. I have got Vicks on at the moment, believe it or not. Oh, France don't go for the corner. France do go for the corner. Rather than taking on the 3. This is a bold call in the scenario. Very bold. It's not something that we would normally see from the French, but they are willing to try it here. I'll very quickly mute. Now line out. France know they're better, says Jeremy, although it only counts as being better if they can score from this. If they make a mistake and South Africa manage to take it back, then they will feel like it was a missed opportunity. Nicely grabbed by Gilliard, who's got that ball at the moment. I think it's ended up in a dog pile there. Advantage going the way of the French. This could be trouble for South Africa. Now backline movement into Mac in the middle of the field. Ramos with the ball on the outside. Pinot will get the double for the French. Oh my goodness, he's just been cleaned up by the barricade. He does not look good. Damien Pinot has crashed into it. Why did they put it so close, and why is the field so slippery? He looks like he's going to be all right, Damien Pinot, but he has just ragdolled himself into the sideline and the barrier. I think he's just being checked on at the moment by his teammates, but Pinot gets his second try in the 26th minute. We're going to see it now. Is that Ford? They might have to check that one, but geez, he slides a long way. Boom, just straight into the side of it. Like a pancake. Slapping on the pan there, Damien Pinot on the sideline. When will South Africa player get a card? Honestly, I think they would have had a bit of a warning. That was a bit rough from Reinach. He did actually push him into the barricade in that scenario. There's a hard slide into the banner. Says Sighted, and come on guys, says Mikel there. And I'm a greatness box struggling today. And I can only imagine the crowd in that stadium. That's the World Cup all over again, says Denzel. And great kick Ramos, says Barry. That was the cameraman. He's crap, says Artie Cradillo. That one's gone just over for Ramos. Hit the post, bounce back, and gives the French now the 8-point lead. Now, 8 points is quite a few, right? But that's not enough in this head-to-head, I wouldn't say. Although neither of these sides actually led by 8 points the last time that they played. The most that either side ended up leading by was the 7, and that was the Springboks after 28 minutes. If I know some players, says Vlad there. And what happened? He did end up scoring in the corner. Oh, was that kicked out on the full? No, it bounced in the field of play for South Africa, so France will have the line out from inside of their 22. We need a Chizzy Colby charge down again, says Johnny Blaze. And Springboks all the way. Come on, champion, says Elizabeth. Yeah, this game is far from over at this point in time, but it cannot be denied the start that France have had in this contest. They've been competitive. Had South Africa guessing a little bit here in terms of what their play is going to be. Nicely claimed there, or is it? Looked like it was close to being a still no advantage in favour of South Africa, in favour of France for closing the gap. And that one hurts. At the moment, South Africa are considered as $3 underdogs. Also, anyone who's in New Zealand, by the way, this game is being shown on the TAB. So you can watch it completely for free if you are in New Zealand, rather than it being on Sky Sport. I didn't realise that until I just checked the odds there to see what they were sitting at. Please update your score. 1 second. Oh, it is updated, I believe. It's currently 14 points to 5. And if you're talking about try scorers, it has got his little 26 in there too. They always have a massive online crowd when doing South Africa games. Awesome, says Anaz Williams. $3 underdogs. Yep, South Africa currently $3 underdogs in this matchup. I'm watching South Africa, says Elizabeth. Now, Julien Marchand ready to throw this ball in for the French. Nicely claimed again. They love that rolling maul, and they are using it well throughout this contest. France will be tied in the second half, says Memento. They've been told to use it. Ligarek again going across. Nice step from Gelfiku, the captain, until he is driven backwards by Sioko Lisi. Being told to get out of there with the hands. I think it's going to be still on the side of the French, but a very competitive breakdown. Is South Africa playing well or bad? They've had a couple of decent moments. I think it's just at this stage that they haven't quite been able to find their full rhythm in this scenario. Yep. Kick downfield. Nicely taken by Kutli Aronson. Decides that the mark is the best option. Yep, that one's going to be kicked into touch. And the Frenchies are here to shake and bake. And right behind your box says talent in there. What does your hoodie say? It says Everlast. Which is, I guess, relevant for these streams, seeing as we end up doing all-nighters each and every week. A bit early for the Mexican Wave, says the XRP. Currently already 30 minutes through. I can't believe how quick it's gone, but carries almost double for the French in this contest. They've had double the meters made too, and 2 line breaks compared to the 0 of South Africa. Julien Marchand ready to throw this ball in. Taken again, not contested at line-out time from the Springboks, so it does mean that they can just go up for that. Take it freely, the French. Now, rolling ball, not really moving at this point in time. And it hasn't come out there for France, which means South Africa get themselves the scrum feed again. Now we have got there with Sasha missing like he is at times like this. That a team needs a player like Andre Pollard, says Brian. It is interesting though, because I feel like Pollard for this game, more than likely, had he played, I would have probably seen him coming off the bench in the match. Boxing Gear Everlast, who are you sparring with? It just reminds me and George tried sparring once. It went really bad because I don't even want to tell the story. But it wasn't ideal, and I would not do it again. We have got there, South Africa will win, says Weakness there. How you doing, the Kiwi Samoa in the afternoon? We certainly are, yes. I was hoping to do the women's game as well, but I think I'm going to have to sleep during that time. Looks like now Gerhard Stennekamp, he's taken, he's come onto the field. And that is going to be for Boan Venter. Now, Dwayne Vermeulen having a big conversation there with Boan Venter. That's pretty much going to destroy that young man's confidence. Because he's pretty much been told, listen, you're only a 31-minute player. I'm sure there were tactics in play. I assume it would have been later on that we were going to see Gerhard Stennekamp make his way onto the field. But front rows go down. Maybe he has a cold too, says Kyle H. And also we have got there, we still have more to come, relax, says Mel. And also we have got there, where did Bot go wrong when conceding those 2 tries? I think it was just the elusiveness of France on attack. They tried the cross kick in one case, and then they also tried the big wide cutout pass in the other. So it's actually been both on Kudli Arden's wing. Is it too soon to have another beer? It's only 9:46 a.m. Depends what you're doing for the day. If you're going to mow your lawn, I'd say don't do it. Like, as in, don't drink yet. Mow your lawn, of course. And go. Currently 8 minutes left. Kobus Reinach ready to put this ball in. You see, we don't need Andre Pollard. Now see, we suffering. Says Mohadin there. Now that ball's going to be available. Reinach passes it across to Sasha Feinberg and Ngume Zulu. I mean, I think we've seen throughout the Rugby Championship, though, if any player was going to be able to help South Africa get back into a game, it is Sasha. Now kicked him behind. Reinach, he needs to bounce to the ball. He gets it and scores the try. First one on the board for the green and gold. And Kobus Reinach is the man who manages to score it. He just chipped it in behind. No one back there. Well, the French, that seems to be a common occurrence in this game. Both sides going aggressive here on attack, which does leave that susceptible counter-attack. But Reinach, just a great run. And thank you, Bot, says Lady Lynn there. And I'll say our comeback will start from the 35th minute. Remember this comment. And watch that space, says PR. Oh, I mean, it started from the 33rd with the Kobus Reinach try. He manages to score it, celebrates it too. Dirty cheating South African, says Dickers. What was wrong with that one? What part of that was cheating from Kobus Reinach? It was just a good sniping run from a halfback. But now Sasha, he's sitting 50% accuracy here. And he's got that one back over. Sitting 60% off the kicking tee, and that will make the score now 14 points to 13. Still in favour of the French for now. We have got there, just texted Diana Penatani, the Aussie female centre. She said, yes, you can do commentary for her game. And LFG says, McNulty there. I can't believe we're already 34 minutes through in this match. It has gone so quickly, but it always does. When you've got two sides being competitive and being attacking-minded, games can just absolutely disappear. I'll mention anyone who is new to the channel. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. It is greatly appreciated you all being here. Nicely taken by Damien Dialendi, who runs it straight at Louis Bielbiere. We've hardly seen him in this one. Now rolling this one back. Reinach kicks it high, not selecting Pollard. Was a huge mistake. Sasha is not well experienced yet. Says Nduksi. And thank you for the commentary. Says Visit. No worries at all. Now passing back across Ligarek. Now going now. Julian Montoya. Julian Marchand. Montoya going to be playing tomorrow for the Argentines up against the Welsh. We are going to be covering that one on the channel too. Bouncing ball for Galfiku. Try and kick it in behind now. Sasha chasing after this one, going up for the ball, and he takes it under the high one, but then does knock it on eventually. And we'll go back for the scrum. And we have got there, if your feet are on or over the line when you kick, you are considered outside of the line. Another rule change for South Africa. Which kick are we talking here? Oh, we have got there, that's fair play, says Rudy, and go the box. Oh, where'd that go? That disappeared. Way up, huge support from Gary and Botswana. See Gary there. Ours will dry your sinus for a while, I guarantee it, says Marshall. But now another scrum feed here for the French. Currently the 4 minutes remaining. Yep, all goods, mate. Got the green light. Just got home from Isabel Kelly Hotel. She said you can stream her game versus the Kiwi Ferns for the final. Cheers. And also we have got there, you are awesome, bro, to listen to. Thanks, man, says Mark. No worries at all. Anyone who is new, hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 80,000 on the channel. We are getting closer and closer every single stream. We're currently 75.5 on the board. That's going to be a big scrum and a big penalty to win there for the French. Is your money on Hamish? I'm still going that 28-8. Oh, no, my scoreline's going to be wrong. I was going to go 28-18. In favour of South Africa, but that can no longer be the case because of France having 14 points here. So I'll instead go 27-17. Here we go. That one's going to be kicked downfield. Does go for a lot of metres there, taking a risky option in that scenario, France, but that is the type of side that they will be. Around it off, says Mark. Rick was trying to make a TAB account to watch the game live, but I'm overseas and can't verify it. Oh, because I guess VPN-wise you'd be able to use it, wouldn't you? But then I guess you have to do the driver's license and whatnot for it too. Now ready to throw it in, Julio Monchamp. And Le Diacha goes up and steals the ball for the South Africans. Now Kobus Reinach going to roll this one back into the pocket and give it to Sasha Feinberg. Ngome Zulu under a bit of pressure. Does have an angle to be able to find touch. Shot for the commentary, come on the block. Says Theo there. And we have got there, yep, says Dexter. And there as well, South Africa can take these guys, don't give up hope. Yeah, very close game between these two sides at the moment. 38 minutes through the first half. Still easily go either way for these two sides. Bro, making a TAB account and put in $1 so you can watch the game. Let's go. Says ARW. Update the time, please. Currently 38 minutes through. Going to the front. Legarek trying to step around Malcolm Marks. Itzebeth has to be careful not to end up penalised in that breakdown for not rolling away. Ball's available. Julio Monchamp now going back to the left-hand side. France are 45 metres out from the line at the moment. They have a man set up in the pocket, which I assume is going to be an Intermac high up and under. Coming in the very near future. There it is. And Intermac kicks it high and across. That one's gone a little bit further back than he would have liked. Bielbiarre going up for it. And Cheslin Colby able to claim it under the high ball. Now Damien Willemse. Let's get it to Malcolm Marks. There is currently the scrum advantage for the Boks. They wouldn't mind that too much. They have had some scrum dominance in this first half. Jasper Wiese at the bottom of the breakdown. Now pass backwards. Sasha Feinberg. Ngame Zulu kicks it high. And advantage is over. Nicely taken by Thomas Ramos. Manages to dodge Kobus Reinach. That ball's still available. Legarek. Now Intermac. Quick hands from Biaragelfiku. Oh, that was an awkward one for Eben Etzebeth's knee. He has popped out all right, though. And back to the right. Intermac again. A lot of easy meters being made by either of these sides, which I believe is why we are seeing such a kicking-orientated game. And Intermac will kick it back downfield. Now Sasha Feinberg and Ngame Zulu thought about running it, but instead will go with the bomb as well. Going up for it, knocks it back. It's going to be knocked on by the French. 30 seconds remaining in the half. Kanarak in the penalty. Going against the French. Oh, Ramos having a bit of a push there with Kobus Reinach, who was not too happy with him. Having a bit of a chat there too. Reinach having a bit of a temper out there. What is the field position? This one will be about 45 metres out from the French line. Okay, it looks like everyone's getting called over to Angus Gardner at the moment. The penalty awarded to South Africa. 45 out from the French line. Okay, so we've seen it there. Thomas Ramos. Angus Gardner just said that's the second time, and Thomas Ramos said it was him. Okay, little handshakes there. Notice there that the players shook the referee's hands, but not each other's in that scenario. So I don't think this is going to be over between Reinach and Ramos. Right, they are now going upstairs to check out the TMO, Red Nose Hammy. Says Lally, yeah, unfortunately I've got quite the cold at the moment, but we're powering through. It's about our probably 8th hour of live streaming almost. Uh-oh. Ludiacha, head-on-head contact by the sounds of it here. That is not good news for the Boks. We're about to find out. They're just queuing the replay right. Where is it? Got no replays as of yet. Another tries, please, for the Boks. Not that head contact, he fell. We're going to see it now. So that is the tackle. I mean, it's a shoulder from Ludiacha, but he can't go much lower on a falling player here. Like Ramos, oh, he's pretty late though. He's pretty late with the way that he turned into him. Ramos did take the knock on the chin. Could be red. Hey, sure you don't have Springbok blood in your aim, says Kim. And he fell down. There's a bit of an arm wrap from Diacha, only that right arm. I don't know what they're going to call this. This could be yellow, this could be red, this could just be a penalty. Honestly, it could be any of them. Update score, mate. This is currently the score, currently 39 and a half minutes through. Okay, they've said their yellow card threshold. I think that there was a bit of a discussion. Maybe the touch judges were trying to say that wasn't, or sorry, they were trying to say maybe it was worse. It's an unfortunate one. It's late from Ludiacha, which I think is the worst part of it, because he had time, you could argue, to adjust a little bit. But he's come through, he's made contact. The guy's on his knees, so I see this as a yellow at most. I think yellow is enough, says Stephen. Oh, hang on. Why are they making this decision now? This sounds like they're going for the red card. Why aren't they doing the yellow card off-field review here? He's seriously considering a red card straight here, rather than even giving the yellow card TMO decision. They show it at full speed. It's not good for Ludiacha, don't get me wrong. He was very late with it, but because of how low Thomas Ramos was, I would have thought they're at the red card threshold. I think in this scenario, you at least go yellow. You go yellow, you send it off field review, and then from there, the decision is made. But in this case, to go with a straight red, that says that it's bad enough that it is worthy of nothing but. It's a permanent red card they're given for Ludiacha. That's huge. Red card with a 4-week ban. Yeah, he will not be playing next week. It was illegal, says Kiwi Rob. Yeah, but I don't know whether or not it was red card worthy in that scenario. Or at least, normally what we would see is, like I said, that yellow card, you send him off the field for 10 minutes, and then he comes back or he stays off. But at least that way they've looked at it multiple times. But that is a big moment in this contest. Rutro, Scooby, says Big Rig. So it's not a 20-minute. Well, it's a permanent red for him. I assume that it's still a 20-minute red for the South Africans, though. Although it hasn't been reviewed. Has it? So I don't actually know what this is ruled as. You really think that Interback Ramos Thomas is 100% French? Says Rudy. Who's the ref? In this case, it is Angus Gardner, and then the man on the TMO, I can't actually remember who his name is. Even proper cards these days get a review first. How the hell? It does look bad in real time. Yeah, it looked brutal. But I thought they'd have a few more looks at that during the yellow card time. We're now currently playing with 14. Ball's loose, and it is knocked on by France, so that is going to take us to half-time in this contest. No, it's not. It's 20-minute red. Okay, so he will be not returning to the match, but they will have another man out there on the field at around 60 minutes. Hello from France. That's good for us. That immediately is a problem. And here we go again. Referee F's up the game, says Joe, and exactly how much says Stealth. Gardner is usually very good. It seemed like as a panel of referees, they weren't on the same page for that decision. There were some that were saying go review. He was falling down any lower and he'd be crawling, says Francois. So yeah, I don't think it's the fact that it was head on shoulder. I think it's because of the lack of arm wrap from Diacha, and also because of the fact that he had a little bit of time that he could have pulled out and decided not to. I think that's why they're calling it as the red. But it's still one that I would have thought you'd go to the bunker first and have a look at it for 10 minutes. Definitely because you got that halftime break. Testing the IQ of Dr. Rassi now. It's not a 20-minute red, says Kiwi Rob. I see. So it is a full half red card for Ludiacha. A 4-week ban is upgraded to a 6-week ban for Diacha now. And also pathetic refereeing, says Milton there. Springboks getting the number 1 team in the world treatment, says Colin. A totally unfair red card there. Ball carrier very low. I appreciate the fantastic pronunciation of the players. Thank you, says Monique. No worries at all. And no bunker full red and permanent red card. And there as well. But half time. What an eventful first half it's been. Ladies and gentlemen, it was back and forth rugby. 1 point separating these two sides, but now a red is involved. We did see Eben Etzebeth get himself yellow carded the last time these two sides went head-to-head, but there was no red card in that game, but there is now one in this matchup. These are the benches. One moment, I'm about to sneeze. We are good, but South Africa, they did have Ruan Nokia on the field briefly during the period where Diacha actually made his way off the field for an HIA. Snyman, he won't be a mile away, I wouldn't think either, if this is going to be a permanent red card for Ludiacha, which it does look that way, so he will not be able to return, so they will need someone else in the locking department. My curiosity is still with Andre Esterhuizen. Where are they going to play him? Does he come on as a forward, or in this scenario, does he come on as a back? I think that the back's probably the more likely out of the two, but for France, they've still got Tolfa Fanua and Maxime Luku, a couple guys to definitely keep an eye out for. Next week, they are going to be playing up against the Fijians. That game overlaps with the match between Australia and Ireland, so someone didn't really do the scheduling that well, but it is certainly going to be a very intriguing game. Then France versus Australia, that has taken place in 2 weeks' time. That is the last of the November internationals for South Africa. It's still a busy time. And if Lutiaka with this red card, he is more than likely going to miss these next 3 games up against Wales, Ireland, and also Italy. Now, this is the next big game that the Springboks will be targeting. But depending on what happens in this game may depend on the selections that we see from Rassi for the for the Italy matchup taking place as well. These are also the rest of the internationals taking place. The one that you can't see down the bottom is Scotland versus Argentina. England versus New Zealand should be a very intriguing one. Same with Ireland, Australia. South Africa taking on South Africa taking on the Italians for the 3rd time of this year. I do see there are 78 comments during that time that we were just doing the benches. What are the scoreboard? At the moment, scoreboard is 14 points to 13 at halftime. 2 tries for Damien Pinot and 1 try for Kobus Reinach throughout that first half. As a Bok fan, that red was fully deserved. Stupid from Lud. And also we have got there, thanks Lud, you've done South Africa proud, says DD. And also we have got there, bless you, says Tame. And there as well, you should make a poll during halftime. Was the red card correct? I think it's a tricky one to do a poll for, though, because I think it does come down to where people are from. Just a little bit. You know, like the general consensus for sides is normally, if their side get a card, they won't feel like it's justified. Like, for me, I'm very surprised that they didn't go yellow card bunker review. Just because that gives you a few more times to look at it. You can look at it from the wider angles, work out exactly how that one sits. Because I don't think it changes too much. Other than, I guess, the fact that he does get a full red card rather than the 20-minute one. Red card all day. Ramos, a knee on the ground, no intent to tackle, directed to the head and neck zone. Says Kropotkin. Butchered that, didn't I? A permanent red card in rugby is issued for deliberate, highly dangerous and illegal acts of foul play resulting in the player being removed from the game. Oh no, a replacement allowed, says Hayno. So yeah, I guess that is the big decision that has been made. Rather than the 20-minute red, they are going with the permanent red, which is something we haven't really seen that often in recent times, to be fair. It's unfortunate for Big Lut, says Vuyo there. And also, we need Andre Pollard. I'm disappointed in Russie and you, Hamish. Now we're suffering, says Mohadin. You're never going to let that one go, are you? Just because I said that Sasha Omani have a lot of attacking flair and have got the tools to be able to win a game for the South Africans, I feel like you're going to bring that up when I'm about 50 and you're going to say, hey, Hamish, remember that time that you said Andre Pollard wasn't needed up against the French? Just showing those highlights of the tries last week. Kurtley Ardenser scoring the 8th try up against the Japanese. I think we'll struggle to get 8 tries in this contest. His name and fail his HIA. So it was actually Ludiacha who went back on after his HIA. He did pass it. And then from there got sent off. Lots of dirty players in the Bok team. And the only way France to win this game, says Siposiso. Pathetic red card. The tackler's almost on his knees. Rugby is becoming a joke, says WLK. This is no South Africa first loss. Now, I will mention, South Africa at the moment are considered $2.80 underdogs. So they aren't actually huge underdogs in this scenario. Even though they have had those cards. Or they've had the card of Ludiacha. It's very different when South Africa don't buy out the ref, says Chris. There's a problem with Bok supporters. They already decided they're going to win, says February. Tell you what, the chat is going very quick at the moment. I'm about 500 messages behind by the looks of it. In fact, I was... Wow. There was a lot of messages that I was... There we go. We're back to live now. I did see someone say slow down with the water. I did drink quite a bit of it there. The throat is starting to get a little bit more dry, which is expected. But should be all right for the second half. Renier is not happy with the red card. We have to keep up, says Joshua Williams. It's just going so quick. That is down to you guys. Everyone messaging, and it's greatly appreciated. Of course, anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got plenty more rugby coming up in the near future. Like I mentioned, next weekend, we are covering South Africa versus Italy. And we all go there, France are going to win. Says Ross there, and Sasha should be pulled by Dr. Rassi. And Kobus is hyped up, says the channel. Well, to be fair, Kobus did score the lone try for the South Africans in this contest. He's not a great 10 in my opinion, says John. And also can somebody tell the free website to watch the game. Sadly, not a lot of free websites other than the TAB here in New Zealand. But you do have to have a New Zealand, I believe, phone number and a password. Hamish is such a sick name. What does it mean? It doesn't mean much, I don't think. I think it's just Hamish. I don't think it's got any sort of special naming. You're lying to yourself. You say France is going to win. Says low in there. Riacani doesn't even go for an HIA. I thought I heard them say at the end that he had gone for an HIA. I could be wrong. But I thought that I heard Gardner say afterwards when the players were walking off. I think he said something about an HIA. Could be wrong though, like I said. And maybe they'll change script at the latest or the last moments, like the 90s Hulk Hogan match. Says, Kyle, you think the Springboks are going to say that doesn't work for me, brother, and then just switch it up a little bit? Turn on the bomb squad in the later stages. Can somebody tell a free... Oh no, I read that one, didn't I? I wish I need a new sport to watch now. The rugby is for little girls, apparently. Says Yanko. What type of sports do you like? Do you like rugby league? We saw a bloke almost die playing rugby league the other week because he got concussed in the warm-up and they chucked him out onto the field to then get concussed again. And then he had brain surgery. So if you like pure brutality, rugby league's probably the one for you. We have got there Hamish's James and Scott's Gaelic. Well, there you go. I don't even know that. And we have got there no matter what box, we're always going to win. Says Anicia there. And we have got the Hamish tomorrow. They will tell us Ludiacha, a castrated Ramos as well. That was a red card all day, says short videos. Lud gets HIA, no video footage. Says Anthony there. Yeah, I don't know what actually was the collision initially for Ludiacha. And mate, what about netball commentary? One day, and it's going to take a lot of convincing, right? But I really want, because my nana follows netball closely. So at some stage, before the end of the YouTube channel, which I don't think is anytime soon, I want to have my nana on for a watch-along netball live stream. I won't know anything that's going on, but like the Women's World Cup in the netball, I think is happening in like 2 years' time in Australia as well. And I feel like that would be a fun stream to do. I don't think she'd ever say yes, though. But I'd try my best. How low must you go? Says Mark there. As he's saying, I saw saying that is red. He fell, dude. Says Francois. And as a box fan, I agree it's a red, but surprised it's not. It was a straight red and not a yellow card to red. Yeah, see, that was the one that surprised me. The fact that it was ruled as deliberate enough that they wouldn't go yellow card and then check it. That's normally what you'd end up seeing. What's the difference between this one and the Burn one last weekend? They're quite different. Tyke Burn, he was upright in the tackle. There was not a lot of arm wrap. So the difference is probably the fact that there was, you'd say, Tyke Burn was more upright, less momentum in the tackle than what we saw from Ludiaka, and less shoulder to head, I believe. Although it hit Bowden in the nose, didn't it? It was direct contact with Ludiaka, not wrapping, says Paulo. And we have got there, it's very hot, Amish, says Byron. And also Kobus got that roid rage, says Halfcourt. He's an angry man in that 9 jersey at the moment. As Lud got the soft shoulder, says John. And look after yourself over the weekend. Your poor old red nose needs rest, says Dennis. It's pretty stingy at the moment, I can tell you that right now. Hoping to get through the second half without having to blow it or anything too much. But yeah, next live stream that we have got on the channel, it is going to be happening at around 5:45 p.m. today, New Zealand time. He is a terrier, says Yanko there. So what happens now is South Africa down to 14 for the rest of the game. They are. Because it is a permanent red card. So that means that no one can return after 20 minutes in this match, and they will be down to 14 for the rest. South Africa fans already start to make excuses and blame the red card and the ref. Says Vanilla, are you going to work on Monday? Depends. Because I have got that live stream at about 4 a.m. New Zealand time between Argentina and Wales. But if I am able to sleep before that live stream, then probably end up working maybe Monday afternoon. Volts at 14. And now it's equal for the second half. Says Robbie Jones. And Cobus is the older of the team. And Cobus is like a chihuahua. Says Mania. It's not a 20-minute red card. No, because it was upgraded as a full red card, a permanent red card, it means that it is serious enough that they've ruled it as not a 20-minute. It's the rest of the game now. Does it sound... Oh, but it does sound like all noses are blocked with your accent. Says Dominic. Well, I guess it works perfectly then. You probably didn't notice the difference. Now we have the Rasi will have to shift the pack now. Maybe Easthuizen comes on earlier. Potentially. He might make his way on. We have got hi from Megan as well. Welcome and hope you're doing extremely well. Hope you're excited for the second half. Spend as much time with your grandma as possible, man. My last grandparents died unexpectedly. I'm sorry I didn't spend more time with her. Says Jacques in there as well. But yeah, I have to try and convince her. Netball live stream watch along. We'll probably end up with a copyright strike. I don't know how strict they are on the netball streams. But like New Zealand, South Africa could be an intriguing one. I don't know when they play next though. So that's the only problem. You do an Ireland's game next weekend? I think so. Fiji are playing France. Ireland are playing Australia. There's someone in the chat who was popping in just before who I'm hoping I'll be able to convince to do one of the two streams for me. And if I'm generous, I may even let him pick which one he wants to do. Looking at you, Tim. No. It's Stade de France. Says Yanko there. The game is lost right there due to the red card. Says Ruben. And we have got the and Sasha can't kick for today. Yeah, 60% kicking accuracy at the moment for Sasha Feinberg and Ngame Zulu. Permanent red card or straight red card means he's permanently out. Says Lawrence there. And the South Africans are going to blow up now. Watch out for the bloodbath. And more red cards for the South Africans. No discipline whatsoever. And a Cleveland steamer to clean up or clear up the chest. You need it, my friend. Says I am nutty. Focus more on the game. It's currently halftime, so there's not much more that we can talk about for this halftime break other than the fact that there was a controversial red card right at the end of the half. We've seen the 2 tries from Damien Pinot, and then alongside that we have seen the try for Kobus Ronak. Outside of that, we haven't really seen a massive amount of attack from the Springboks, having about half as many running meters as the French, beating less defenders. And yeah, that's about the summary of the whole half. What's your evaluation now? The box holding up, actually. Says Leroy. I think that even with 14, they're still a strong enough side that they can keep this competitive heading into the later stages of this contest. And I still look at it as they had time. They played last week up against Japan. So later on in this match, I feel like that's when the fatigue for France may start to set in. Use a tube of Lipsil, Lipician in your nostrils every time you blow. No sore nose for show, says Sarnil there. And also don't act like the Americans. Everyone knows that someone's disappeared. I don't know who that is. Focus on the halftime, Hamish. Come on, man. Jacques Smith. And commentators just inane, irrelevant mumblings. Says Brendan. Yeah, it's because it's halftime, isn't it? We're waiting for the second half to get back underway where we will be back to the play-by-play commentary. But for now, it's not a lot that we can base it off. We've gone through the stats in the first half. We've talked about the benches. We were, if anything, too efficient with those ones. But second half just about here. We have got there, Sasha will have to nail all the kicks from this point onwards. And also Marnie making his way off the bench is also going to have to get it right. Not watching the game, why the red card. So it was the shoulder to the head of Thomas Ramos. There was a lot of force behind it. Now, Ramos was on his knees. So that's where it was a little bit more split. Not you, the official ones. Okay, well, to be fair, I do ramble a lot. So we've been told before that I get far too distracted easily. And I just don't think about the first half. It will come. Says original, but both sides back out there on the field. Sasha Feinberg, Ngame Zulu kicks us back off. That was very quick. They had an air break, and then about 3 seconds later, we're back into the contest. And it's a big run from Mia Fu with a missed tackle from Kurt Liarense. If Pollard played, those 2 kicks would have been over, and the score would be 19 points to 14. Says Ruben Africa. Now kick downfield. The one extra man on the field at the moment for France. And Damien Valimza decides against taking that quick throw. He was committed to the tackle. I think they're saying that he could have pulled out. He did look like he had quite a bit of time, even though he did look, I thought anyway, like he was ready to start making it. But I think they've said there was no attempt of pulling out whatsoever, and it's still heavy contact to the head of a player. Just joining in. Is this turning out to be a classic? It's classically controversial. And Sia Kolisi, he has made his way off the field, ladies and gents, at halftime in this contest. They have decided to make that switch. I'm not sure whether that is for Ruanokia. I think it would be, though. And you bang on tonight, says Philip. And Kobe is there. I don't have stress. Right there, just dealing with the boot of Julien Marchand. And Sasha scared to get stuck in tackling. He'll get injured. So yeah, Kolisi now yelling from the bench. Ruanokia now on the field due to that Ludeacha red card. And go to the box, says Johanna. And will Sasha learn from this game, do you think? I think so. I think that as a young player, you learn no matter what from matches played. It's going to be the line out for Malcolm Mark, sitting about 40 metres out from the French line. Meafu rushing up, and now Sasha will kick this one high again. A lot of tearfall. That's an ugly collision there. And Gareth Fiku, he has landed hard on his back and neck. Right, number 13 ran into him, so it is going to be play on, and that is kicked out on the full from the French. So it will be South Africa's line-out throw now. Which channel for us here in New Zealand? It's on Sky Sport 1. In South Africa, I believe it would be 201. 1 second, I am quickly going to mute. Right, they've said that both of them were in the landing space, so they are all good to continue. Now Sasha again with the up and under. Tactic that they have used all throughout this game, nicely taken by Thomas Ramos. They have to retreat back the 10, and Ramos uses that time to kick this ball into touch. And last game, 2022, has a red card to STD. And also, bless you, says Clint. And there's, I see off already, it's his 100th match. Yeah, although circumstantial, I think makes the difference there. Like, they normally wouldn't have wanted to take him off this early, or at least I'd like to think that they wouldn't have. But at the same time, they kind of have to because of that yellow card. Or sorry, the red card. I keep on saying yellow. That is because normally we would see that as a yellow, but was given as a red and a straight red as well. Now kick there, nicely taken by Thomas Ramos. Put himself under a little bit of pressure there in the breakdown. South Africa looking for the steal, can't quite get it. You're going to get a baguette, says Rudy. I don't know what that means. Is that an innuendo? Now, nicely taken. Now Kurt Liarense going to Sasha Feinberg, and Zulu again tackled about 42 metres out from the try line. Too much aimless kicking by Sasha, although I think that's the tactic. It seems like each and every time that they get some sort of go forward going, they look straight to, there's a knock on from the box now, backline movement opportunity, good quick hands from the French forwards, nice hands from Ramos too. Now Fiku has Biel Biarre on his outside but can't quite link up. Now Ligarek back across, another step there, some good hands from Montagna. These forwards for France are impressive, the way that they've been moving this ball around. Now rush defence on Ramos. Biel Biarre goes off to Damien Pinot. He's already got himself too. He's tried to chip him behind Biel Biarre. Oh, that's such a hard landing. And Cobus Reinach letting that ball go as it rolls into touch, and I believe this will be South Africa's ball. And live from France, good red card for us. Thank you, Box. There's Jean-Marie there. Still 36 minutes remaining. Plenty of time on the clock. And this match, what a catch. Yeah, both men going up for it. And in fact, both men looked like they had it there. And then just a hard landing for Reinach as well as Kurt Liarense. Hamish, will you marry me? Says Hope Daniels. Oh, that's a big slamming one there. See, I don't actually know you, Hope Daniels. You could be related to me. And then that's a bit dodgy. So, you know, we gotta wait. Depends how rich are you. Says Big Rig. How's the South African attendance at the stadium? It sounds like there are a few South African supporters in the stands. Well, this is a proper game, says Original Venom. Now ready to throw this ball in. About 10 metres out from the line. That was French ball, says Wolf. Taken by Evan Etzebeth. They did want that extra line-out option, which is why they had Ruanokia make his way off of the bench again. It was for Sio Kolisi. Now that one goes into touch. They have been told that they can play on if they want to, but Damien Pinot does seem to decide against it. Looks like a couple men warming up off the bench at the moment for the French. Adrien Gris as well as Jean-Baptiste Gru is not a mile away. Now one moment. We are good. Somebody buy something. I spent so much time and money, nobody buys something, says Giovanni. Now off to the left-hand side, Gelficu. About 42 metres out. Now Legaric going back across to Intermac. Cutting back in is Barassi. He didn't really get the ball into his hands that much throughout the first half, but he is such a dangerous option. That almost looked like a tackle off the ball by the box, but it is play on now. Now another step, looked like Etzebeth having a bit of a wrestle in the back play with, I want to say that was Odosio. Now pick and go from Gilliard. He's one of the guys who's been quite quiet in this matchup too. Now across to Gelange. 7 phases in. France find themselves about 20 metres out from the South African line. Good low hands. Gilliard does well. Now Legaric. Back across to Miafu. Now Intermac. Goes on, Damien Pinot passes across here. Biel puts it on the inside. Pinot knocks it on though. Was looking for the hat-trick, but again, just couldn't quite finish it off. Box, we know you can, says Joanna. And South African wingers play on different sides in 2023. I prefer Colby on Pinot, like 2023, says Caleb there. Now Ronak, he has been given the license to be able to roll this one back and kick it high. That one goes into touch. And Intermac, another one. Says Original Venom, and also we have got there. Oh, you're watching the game right now, cuz. I am watching on Sky Sport 1 here in New Zealand, but if you're in New Zealand, you actually have got the option of watching this game on the TAB if you have an account. So I'd recommend checking that out, as it is a free option for being able to watch it, I should say. How are the Box playing, Amish? They've had some good moments, but I do also think that they've been a little bit stop-start in this one. I mention the field position all the time, says Byron. It looks like a few changes about to be made for the French. Gilliard will make his way up alongside Baptiste Ordosio. Julio Marchand, he has been taken off, and also Montagne. We see Tolfa Fanoa. We see Jojo. He is out there now. So about 5 changes made here for the French. Now Tolfa Fanoa. Now Ramos. Ball on the outside. Chance here for Biel as he moves up to the South African 22. Offload up from his back. Now pass to Tolfa Fanoa. Another drop ball from the French. Just seems to be every time so close for both of these sides. Now we need tries, says Mark, and French backs are carving the box up. Not a great job, Mr. H. Like and subscribe, says Memento there. Yeah, anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And the Box playing like chickens, says Tame there. But it was just that tackle made from Cheslin Colby. Bit of a last-ditch effort to be able to stop a clean pass who got the red card. It was Ludiacha. I do see there that Arias Sneyman has made his way on. Same with Andre Esterhazen. So that is going to be Sneyman for Etzebeth, and Esterhazen's on for Damien Dialendi, but he is packing down on the scrum by the looks of that. Mapimpi would be nice in this situation. I want to say there's a bit of cheering going on, but a few boos for Eben Etzebeth in the stands as well, by the sounds of it. Oh, the Box are so lucky, says John. Now 48 minutes through, still 1 point separating these two sides. If your prediction are correct, I'll drop a sub for sure, says Briggs. Brilliant. It's like a 24% dominant tackle percentage in the top 14 last year. Yeah, loves going out there and just absolutely smashing into everyone. So far we've seen 18 tackles missed from South Africa compared to the 7 missed from France. What team is winning the match? At the moment the score is 14 points to 13 in favour of France. Now big scrum. Both have come up. It's going to be kicked downfield from Kobus Reinach. That one does go out. We only need 1 point, peeps, says Original Venom. We need Lebok now, says Joshua. It's not working in Australia. They thought they were guys, says Rudy. And go the box. Play like the superstars you are, says Lauren. And come on the box, says Johanna there. You see there, Etzebeth, Kolisi, both off the field at this stage. We need 2 quick tries, says Dominic. And also, I'm watching from South Africa. Bok, you're still my best team, says Sweetness. Now, line out throw here for the youngster. And does go in. That was close to 4, but it is going to be play on. Clermont down the short side. On debut, man. That's a barnstorming run down the sideline. Now, Aldiegri goes across to Jean Baptiste Gru. Are they watching in South Africa? Are they asleep now? I think some are still watching. Although it is a pretty late night one, 11:30 p.m. for those watching in South Africa at this point in time. Ligarek. Looking for this ball once more. It is available. Off to the right-hand side. Jalon. We're starting to hear a bit more of the crowd now. A collision with Taufifano. I have eyes, so I'm looking at something else at the moment. Says Martin. Now 25 metres out. Oh, drop ball from Ramos. In fact, no, sorry, he did actually drop it onto the boot. For Ramos. Big fan there coming from Bodient. Loose ball. Kick downfield from Kurtley Aronson, but it does go out on the full. But where are the Australian women? Says Rudy, is in like the rugby league or the rugby union. Which one are you talking about? And Sasha should be replaced, says Ruben. And have next year's summer tours been announced yet? Not yet that I can think of. I assume that's to see whether or not these two sides play again, right? Currently 51 minutes down. Oh, big cheap shot there from Kobus Ronak on Ligarik. Can South Africa still win this? Absolutely. There's 1 point separating these two sides with 30 minutes remaining. So if they didn't have a chance from winning from this point, I would be very surprised. Nice take from Kurtley Aronson, but then the knock on from Damien Valimza. Wide awake in South Africa, says Kim. It is only 11:30 p.m. in South Africa, and we have had, we better believe that we are watching Go the Bok, says Billy DP. And update my friend, says Bahrain. So at the moment, we are 51 minutes through, sitting 14 points to 13. So it seems to be handling for both of these sides. In the later stages of the contest, that may get worse as well. That means more scrums, which I don't think is absolutely a terrible thing. Knowing South Africans, most of them are awake, drinking and brawling, says Monique there. And also, Bok, the better team, refs have to even things out, says Jonathan. And Colby interception try. And that's the thing, Cheslin Colby is that good of a player that, you know, he has more than enough ability of just sneaking through. France have won 15 of their last 16 matches at the Stade de France. Their only loss was up against South Africa. That was in that Rugby World Cup quarter-final. I just here to read what's needed, says Cold. Possession now for France. Thanks for clearing that up, says Philip. Just said there as well, 20 years they have been waiting to beat South Africa at this stadium. Winning 15 of the last 16, but just that one loss. So the South Africans, I'm from Cape Town, currently in Chile, says Monique. And trying to bring on Nas Bofa for a few drop goals. And we are still here, says Dot. As South Africa hands like butter tonight, says Gregory. And they're doing, we can do it, says Original Venom. And Aussies are too good at rugby league. Mind you, the Kiwis are looking strong. They're playing Toa, New Zealand, Australia this afternoon. And yeah, we are hoping to cover that one on the channel alongside Argentina versus Wales a little bit later on. France won't win here, says Joshua. Front rows go down. Penalty goes the way of the Springboks. You can do it, says Tommy. And Quaka, the best sneaker. Yeah, not having him off the bench, I think, is a big hit here for the Springbok side. Got there as well. I got the Go fan from Portugal. Yeah, Portugal not quite getting the job done in their game up against Uruguay today. I was quite surprised because I thought that Portugal had a pretty decent chance. They did actually start that match well. Oh, this one hasn't found touch from Sasha. And it means now that Damien Penaud is able to clear his lines from inside of his 22. Now Sasha kicking it high again. I don't think that this kicking territory battle here is Sasha's natural game whatsoever. I think it is showing at the moment. I don't think they've got the right tactics for the right fly half in this match. They're being told to use it again. Ligarek. Bring it back again. Oh, slapped back by France, but grabbed by Gerhard Stennekamp. Sasha's doing bad today. Says Mahoudin, try some honey water to ease your throat. Says Crystal there. You'll have to try something in about 28 minutes' time when this game is over. Currently 54 minutes through, but of course a couple stoppages along the way too to take Sasha off. So I assume you're just straight swapping him for Mani Libok. In that case, kicked him behind by France. And again, though, oh no! Slip from Sasha, got so lucky though, because in the scenario, I think it's going to be a France penalty anyway, or at least it would have been. People comparing Sasha to Dan Carter now, kicked him behind, running it back, just there, and it will go into touch. But Sasha having the slip there, but luckily for him, France also ended up slipping in that scenario. You see there, Ligarek just overran it. And Gerhard, you need to clear throat, says Original Venom, and get a shot of brandy or 3, and Libok a chance. And this game would use the likes of Kwaka, Pollard, and Moody. Now line out throw here for South Africa, about 10 to 12 metres out from their line. Nicely taken by Aries Neyman. Now Reinach back into the pocket, finds Sasha's hands. And that one will not find touch. Nicely taken by Damien Penaud. 40 metres out from the line. Tries to step, but he is tackled low by Wilco Low. Now Aries Neyman alongside Rua Nokia. 2 forward replacements working together there. Ligarek again off to the left-hand side. Which stadium is your background? It is the Stade de France. Penaud, fine player, world class. Here's Dennis now. Quick hands into the wider areas. Galfiku has his knee chopped out from underneath him by Jesse Crowell. Ball was out. Ligarek goes back across. Bit of extra pressure coming from South Africa in the breakdowns. Hit the nail on the head, Hamish. Wrong tactics, killing Sasha Feinberg, Zulu's natural game. Yeah, the thing that's made him so dangerous is the fact that they were willing to let him run with the ball. Whereas in this game, they pretty much said, don't do that. Kick the ball back to the opposition and hope that we win the aerial battle. Needs change to be made soon, says Hillary. Antoine Dupont on the bench watching, says David there. Although they have still got Maxime Luku as a great option off of the bench for the French. Ramos not too happy with the knock on. It does give the South Africans another opportunity to go for that scrum. South Africa are still considered as $2.50 underdogs in this match, I do see. Thank you, Libok. Says Joshua, and bring Pollard on. We need the points. Pollard not in the 23 for this match. Right, Mani Libok. He has made his way on now for Damien Valimza. So that will mean that Sasha more than likely will drop to 15 in this scenario. And perhaps that gives him a little bit more of a running opportunity. 6 penalties conceded against both of these sides who's still left on the South African bench. They have still got Johan Grobelaar, who I don't think's made his way onto the field for Malcolm Marx. And then alongside that, they have also got Grant Williams. I believe those are the only 2 changes left for the South African side. Pick and go from Kobus Reinach, moving up to the halfway line for the Springboks. 57 minutes through. What has happened to Evan Etzebeth for the last 15 minutes? He hasn't been on the field. He got taken off for Argus Neyman. And go, Bok, go, says Ziska. Oh, charge down for France. Now Sasha under pressure. Big chopping tackle made by Thomas Ramos. And they get themselves the penalty advantage here, France. Decision to be made. Do they take the 3? Do they go for the corner? I think you got to take 3 here. Get outside of that 3-point margin. Rassi, we trust you. Says Johanna there. And Box need to score soon, or they could run out of steam in the last 15 minutes. Yeah, we are getting closer to that last 15. I was just trying to do some maths in my head. And I will quickly have a look back to see what happened in the final quarter of the last match between these two sides. Throughout that last quarter, we saw Evan Etzebeth score himself a try for the South Africans. We saw two conversions, or a conversion and a penalty, going over for Andre Pollard. So South Africa actually got themselves 10 points in the last 20 minutes last time they played France, whereas the French only got themselves to 3 points. That was in the 72nd minute that Thomas Ramos was able to get the ball over. But now Ramos lining up this one. He is sitting 2 from 2. At the moment, distance is 38 metres out. And the change-up has been made. Let's wait for the effects. Here's original there. New Zealand better than the bike. Here's Dazza, but the strike from Ramos is successful. Straight down the middle of the post. And after 59 minutes, France now take the lead by 4. Apparently, if you are French, you don't need to hold own weight up when jackling. Says Shin. And also, we are too predictable, says Johannes. Yeah, at the moment, the Springboks, they're falling into the French game plan. The best thing that they can do here is start running the ball. But they're going with that kicking back and forth. Right, Maxime Luku, he will make his way onto the field. And also Gelfiku, he has made his way off. Is this an attritional game? Says Mana. I think that both sides, they're going to get tested deep into this matchup. But still anyone's contest to be able to go on to win this one. Hey, Johannes, we will take it. And also France, I love you. And also we have got there run the ball to the wings. It looks like Kobus Reinach, he's off here looking like the Incredible Hulk. The amount of green that was on him. Obviously planted that green logo around the halfway line. I keep doing the same thing. Why even bring on Mani? Says Johannes. A kick downfield from Raman into Mac. Now, Sasha Feinberg Ngume Zulu tries the run. It's tackled by Damien Pinot. And the Boks lose. Rassi must go. Says Razor. I think that's a little bit early to be sacking Rassi after winning the Rugby Championship and also the last World Cup as well. A little bit of a step there from Jesse Creel. Hasn't had a lot of attacking chances throughout this match. Big collision there. And it will go back for the original penalty to South Africa. Rangers sweet. Go the Bok, go. Are we playing 14 for the rest of the game? It was a red. So yeah, it was a cynical red, they called it. So it is a permanent red card, which does take you off for the rest of the game. So it is a little bit different, but it is pretty much for a foul play decision that they feel is worse than just a 20-minute red. That is how you end up with 14 for the rest of the game. Scrappy, unhinged game. It's always going to be, though, when these two sides play, they are close enough in terms of competitiveness that when they go head-to-head, sometimes those fireworks can happen, and other times you just get a low-scoring, grinding test match, and that's a little bit more what we've seen here, but currently 22 metres out from the line. Chance here for Malcolm Marx and a Springbok 4-pack to get this ball moving. Andre Estes and passes off to Malcolm Marx. 10 metres short of the try line here for the Boks. Grant Williams cross to Peter Steph de Toy. France are going to need a big turnover. South Africa need that big moment where they score. Now, offload from Arias Neyman. There's an advantage now against the French. Oh, big clean out there on Grant Williams. Ball stolen by France. No warning. At this stage, it was for offside. Rassi is the best coach ever. And Sasha don't meet the need. We need to make a change. And Marx needs a try, says Hillary in there as well. Horizon, you must be a Kiwi. As soon as the ABs lose one match, they start screaming, fire the coach, says Helene. Best commentary ever. Go the Springboks, you got this, says Dimitri. Who has the better scrum? Actually, both sides have had decent scrums throughout this match. France have won, I believe, 2 penalties. South Africa, I want to say, have won 3. But this one's kicked into touch. Okay, Angus Gardner was having a bit of an argument there with one of the French players. As a neutral, this is a great game. And yeah, this could easily have been the French as world champs. Says Fleshin. Now moving forward. Malcolm Marx with possession at the back of the rolling maul. They'll be told to use it soon. France are defending it pretty nicely. Being told to use it. He's breaking off the back. Malcolm Marx, can he find his way over the line? It looks like he might be held up as he knows there's an advantage in favour of the Boks. Grant Williams. Now, Mani Libok. Oh, was it a hand of Bialbiare? If it was, could have been in trouble. Now, Cheslin Colby out on the wing, showing off his step. Bialbiare gets him. Ramos kicks it downfield. There's going to be another penalty, and this could be close to a yellow card now. Why isn't it the same as on Real TV? Good commentary. Says Porter. And Angus is too talkative, says John, and we bleed green and gold. Says be yourself forever. Right, decisions about to be made here. Got a penalty. There is a potential deliberate knock-on from Bialbiare. And if that was the case, then we would see both of these sides with 14 men on the field to close out the half. Responsible to have an argument with the referee, says Martin there. And pulling out my hair here, says Monique. And also we have got there should have been a yellow on the previous, says Francois. Right, they are going check here on the TMO. Did Louis Bialbiare get any sort of touch on that ball? If he did, this is probably a yellow card, and it could even be a penalty try with the positioning on the field as well. We're going to see it now. He got a hand. Never in a realistic position to catch it. They will now check to see whether or not there were players on the outside. Okay, there is a player on the outside. So that may save him from a penalty try. But I think this is still going to be a yellow card for Louis Bialbiare. Currently 16 and a half minutes remaining. So a yellow would take him off the field for the last. We'll bring him back for about 6 minutes or so. Amani is horrendous. Can kick to save the world's whole existence. Says 2 base for life. And penalty try, a yellow card and a penalty kick. Says Sean. So yeah, they are saying here it looks like it is going to be a yellow card, but it does sound like that's all. Because of the cover defence that France did still have. Right. Christoph Ridley has made a decision. And this sounds like a yellow card for Bialbiare. It will be the yellow card now, and they are playing with 14 as well. Current world rankings, France look great. Just being honest, well, if France win this game up against South Africa, they actually boost themselves right up into 3rd on the world rankings. From there, we see New Zealand go to number 1 in the world. Come on, what is that decision? Says Glinty. Yeah, they took a little while, but the yellow card for Louis Bialbiare as the call there, handling cards out like jelly tots. You're definitely watching a delayed version, says Meteorite. And also we look at their double punishment, says Chris. Yeah, although a double punishment could have been the penalty try, which has not been awarded. I do not play a game plan suited to our best striking powers. Absolutely, I think they've just got the tactics slightly wrong in this match. Penalty in front of the post or penalty there? They're going to take the one near the sideline. So they are looking for the corner here. The Springboks. I know penalty try. Jesse had no one in front of him. He did have, there was one more cover defender out wide. That was pretty hard to catch, but you could see his shadow in the angle. So that is why it wasn't awarded as a penalty try there. But Malcolm Marx now ready to throw this ball in for the line out. Currently sitting with 16 minutes remaining on the clock and just the 4 points separating these sides. This should be good for Malcolm Marx. A lot better in terms of a set rolling ball there over the line, and the Boks managed to score it at the perfect time. 14 on 14. I want to say that it was, it's Andre Esterhuizen who popped up with the ball. Mr. Hybrid making his way off the bench and straight away making an impact in this contest. We'll give the Springboks the lead in this match now. 1 second. I am about to sneeze. But Andre Esterhuizen getting over the try line. So far we have seen the backs. In fact, every single, can you count Andre Esterhuizen as a back or a forward? Because if he's counted as a back, then every try has been scored by backs, whereas the last time these two sides played, it was predominantly forwards who were able to score it. And come on and try, says Mark. And also, let's go to the Springboks. We bloody take the lead. And Sasha has missed the kick. It's going to make the score 1 point difference in this contest. 18 points to 17. We're still 15 minutes remaining on the clock. It is all to play for between these two sides. I will mention anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is greatly appreciated you all being here for these matches. We've got plenty more coming in the very near future. But going down to the wire now. Great sneeze, says Tame there. And he was a forward for now. Says original Venom, little bit of slipperiness there for Jean-Baptiste Grue. And in the breakdown, Sasha very unlucky not to get himself that steal. You do just get that feeling now for the French that they know that this is the time where they have to get something going. Maybe they've been complacent for the last little while. Now we have got there Sasha kicking like his... Oh, another penalty going the way of South Africa. This time Malcolm Marx in the breakdown. I think that there isn't much of a chance that he will make his way on the field. He is swearing at the French pack as well. So he is not too happy with something that happened in the breakdown. Marx the best forward today. Says Joshua. Sasha's not there for his kicking, but we need the ball to make it final, says original there. Pollard's exclusion may cost the Boks, says Joe. Describe everything in detail. Hamish field position in particular, so now 40 metres out, it will be the line out for the South Africans. Marnie Libok, man who does put this one into touch. Still time for Marks to score a try, says Hillary. That is true. Still another 13 minutes left now. Starting to get closer and closer to the end of this matchup. And Boks have the advantage by far with both at 14, says Jonathan. And also, where is Pollock? I assume you're talking Pollard, and he is in the stands, but he is not playing in this match. Nicely taken by Arge Snyman. Now back across to the right-hand side. Chance here for Andre Esterhazen trying to bump his way through Geelong. Now Williams. I believe there have been all of the changes made. Arge Snyman again finding the offload. Sasha Feinberg and Gomer Zulu trying to pierce through. Themselves in another good position on the field here, South Africa. Even if they just work their way towards a penalty, that would get them into a lead of more than 3. Grant Williams, 35 out from the line with better Steph Toy. Now shifting away back to the right middle of the field for Jasper Vesa. Almost got through the tackle attempt to Bodian. Now Sasha. In fact, this time it is Mani Libok. Goes with the cross kick into the hands of Chisler and Colby. That's a great tackle made out wide from the French. Although he gets back up to his feet, has another crack there, Colby. 12 minutes remaining. Someone's missing a boot at the moment by the looks of it. It is Jasper Vesa. No advantage for South Africa, so starting to get a few more chances here. Mani Libok. Oh, that's a big bump off. Sasha tries to pass around the back, but they'll go back for the penalty again. And this is now when South Africa have to be very smart about what their next move is. I believe the only option you've got here is to go for 3. I was the captain now for the South Africans. I would assume Jesse Creel would be the captain in this scenario. Who why people acting as if Pollard never missed a kick. Says Joshua. Okay. South Africa have decided to go for the corner here. They've decided while it is 14 on 14, that is their best possible chance. I'm a little bit surprised, I'll be honest, but to be fair, they're 5 metres out from the line, so this is going to be a very good position. But they have to score it, because if they don't, you've given up the opportunity to lead by more than 3. It opens up the door for the French. But they are going aggressive here. And whereas here, he made his way off at halftime due to that red card of Ludiache. So another 5 minutes remaining of that French yellow card. We have got there, if you're live, we want to see the games, not you, Reaper. CSN, well, guess what? There are many options for being able to watch it. I've even told the free options earlier on. But I'm not going to tell you because you're being mean. Unlucky. We have got there, come on the box, go. Says Joseph, and try time, let's go to the box, says Brett. And come on the box, says Ian there. And also the box says Ronald, but now kick for the corner, has worked well for Mani Libok. 5 metres out from the line. Malcolm Marx now ready to throw it in, taken by Ludiache. This is again very well set, brilliantly defended, or at least I thought it was. But now dragged down by the French. This is going to be another penalty advantage in favour of the Bok. Grant Williams trying to find this one. And they will go back for the penalty. This is close to another yellow card. Now we have got there, thankfully, the ref is on our side. Says Wolf. And give it to Mark, says Joseph. Another decision to be made here for the South Africans. They didn't manage to turn it into 3 points as of yet, but still got another chance. Why are France so knackered? Because it's their first game that they have played together as a side since July. So I mentioned about it all throughout the preview. I felt like the last 20 minutes was where we were going to see France's wheels fall off and South Africa start to ramp up that tempo. Now, Malcolm Marx currently busted open above his eyebrow there. How close are they? They were 5 metres out from the line. And now they are looking like they will go for a kick towards the touchline again here. And they've got the options of player of the match, Reinhardt, Sasha Feinberg and Gamezula. I don't think many people would be voting for him just at this point in time. I think that there's been a few Springboks that have actually done better than him throughout this matchup. Can we stop feeling sorry for the Boks being hated on by the refs? Has your sound dropped a bit, says Vlad. And also Marnie puts life in the side. I think that was the youngster Cramont who came in through the side. Did it actually get himself penalised? Come on, France, says Daniel there. Ben says Abe Riggs. Is it still 70 minutes? It is. So it is 69 minutes, 57 seconds into this contest. Crowd booing a little bit. We see there Ben Jason Dixon. We see Andre Pollard, Zachary Porthen, Jean Klein, all watching on. Bit of a spell here while Malcolm Marx gets patched up. And please, guys, say nice things about South Africa. We are sensitive. Says cool story. And Try Time says Mark and supporting the Bok from Wales. Go the Bok. He almost said it. Yeah, it's not my first rodeo, though. I did see it initially. I didn't read it the first time, and then I decided to just say the Ben part of it instead. How many kicks has Sasha missed? He has missed 3. Right, Marnie Libok puts this ball into touch, and still that 5 metres out. Yeah, just talking about that record at the moment. Stade de France, they have not beaten the Boks at this ground in 20 years. And if this Boks side score right now, they may not for another 20. Moving this one forward. France trying to defend it. It is going to be tough to do. Well, if they've come through the middle there, the French, so that might be legally sacked. That ball stuck in there. Oh, it comes out the back for Grant Williams. He pierces through and scores the try. It was almost a mistake from the South Africans, but in the end made the right decision. Williams, the super sub, off of the bench. And that may just about be the game now. The good news for him is he scored it between the posts. Managing to work their way through Grant Williams. Boom. Says Johnny Blaze there. But the rolling ball. France almost did enough to tie that ball up. Then rushing forward for the French, which left the gap round the side. Very good vision from Grant Williams. And he managed to get it. We have got there. Are you going to make another YouTube profile, mate? I don't know whether that's to me or to someone else in the chat. We have got there. France beat them in 2022 at this ground. Did they? Really? What was the stat they were showing before then? Because they said that they were on... Oh, sorry. It was a 15... Sorry. 15 of their last 16 they won at this ground. That one has gone over. But yeah, they were ending the streak. The Springboks last time round. Seems like they're going to try and do it again. I see that France beat South Africa in Marseille in 2022. 30 points to 26. Is that the game you're referring to? Perhaps? Maybe that other one with the Stade Francais record is actually still intact in that regard. But yeah, Marseille for that game rather than the location of this one in Paris. And see, he's still playing. No, he got taken off very early in this match, but the kick has gone over as well, I should mention. So 8 points difference at this stage. Yes, says Geza. But now going back across, Marnie Libok looking for the cross kick. That is the danger of having Marnie out there on the field. Cheslin Colby running down the wing. He's tackled. Good foot race. Jesse Creel getting back there, but Intermac manages to get the pass across. France looking for a bit of a counter-attack, but instead decided to kick it from their own 22. Seems like that change of Marnie Libok has now started to make them go a little bit more aggressive here. Oh, that's a big knock on from the French. Andre Esterhuizen popping it up to Ruan Nokia. Offloads to Williams. Pushing the tempo now. Claimed by France, but going back for the scrum yet again. And this is the danger of a lead. Says original, and yeah, currently it does sit with the 8 points difference between these two sides. Now we have got their Stade de France has officially been renamed Ellis Park North. Says Nicola there. And keep it up, Bok. I put respect on the Bok name, says Francois. And Bok scrum, thanks, guys. Yeah, I think that as soon as this one goes down to a scrum, not looking good for your 17-27 prediction, Hamish. Isn't it? It's not a mile off, to be fair. Just the 2 points separating it. If Sacha had got his last kick, we'd be sitting directly correct there. Although my original prediction was actually 28-18 on my preview. I changed it. Sorry, Hamish, it was Marseille. My mistake, sorry. Says Geza there. Now ready to put this ball in for Grant Williams. Real close, not going to lie, says AB Riggs. Oh, another scrum reset. Still using up a few extra seconds. Currently sitting with 6 minutes left on the clock. And Big Hamish too clean with the commentating, says Norman. And also Marnie sharpened his shed. And the tools tonight says it was from Cold Steel. We do see there Gregory Aldred shaking his head on the sideline. He's not happy with what they have seen out there today from France. They started so well. 2 early tries for Damien Pinot, but that was it. From there on out, nothing else coming the way of the French. How many minutes is left, guys? Still another 5.5 minutes remaining. How's the nose? It is certainly feeling red at the moment. It's looking red as well, but it's our last about 10 minutes of streaming before a bit of a break. And we have got there, mate. I'm your biggest fan. You are a Kiwi legend and going to go viral. Says Stephanie, and it is greatly appreciated you being here. Show the game, and then some swearing in South African, in Afrikaans. It's not my first rodeo. I know what that means, Siraj, and right back at you. We have got there, Bucky's both that can play 5 minutes, no problem, says Xander. How would you rate this box performance? I would say once again, and it's a bit of a trend for South Africa, it hasn't been the cleanest, but they're going to win. So that's the main thing. You know, as long as they are having sometimes shaky games and still finding a way over the line. We've got to remember they had to deal with a bit of adversity in this matchup. They found themselves down to 14 for half this game. And a penalty goes the way of the Springboks. That should close out another minute or two. We played great rugby the last 15 to 20, and I mentioned about it as well. That is when France were always going to slow down. Right, Marnie has been told to go for the corner again. And we have got there, everybody hide your kids. Get away from I Am Nutty. And All Blacks vs South Africa World Cup final. Says Deeb's there, and anything can happen in 5 minutes. You don't know what it means? I do know what it means, because I've been called it many times before. So, unfortunately for you, I do. And stay focused, guys. You can do this, says Angela there. And dominating, says RJJ. Now we have got there, me from the Czech Republic again. Thanks as always. Respect, says Paul. And thank you, Hamish. I know you aren't very well. But your commentary is much appreciated. Now Malcolm Marks ready to throw this one in again. And who has the ball? Currently the Springboks, 15 metres out from the line. Chance to throw it in for Malcolm Marks. Maybe didn't quite get as many distance metres on it as Marnie Libok would have liked. But breaking away, Jasper Visa now. Just the 4 minutes left on the clock. Now respect the box. And there, and try for Sasha, says Peter. Now Argus name, thought about offloading. Can't quite get it there. Grant Williams goes back across. Little pass in behind to Sasha Feinberg. Ngumazulu, who does score. That one was slightly spoiled for us, but that's all right. Another try for the Springboks. And that will well and truly secure this game now. You can see the celebrations. I feel like the stress has now been let off the shoulders of the Springbok side, and it is once they changed tactics that Sasha started finding his rhythm. So I feel like perhaps Rassi, for out that first 60 minutes or so, he did go a little bit too much like France were trying to play the game, rather than playing the way that the Boks have throughout 2025, which has given them so much, or has given them so much success. And here we go. And no competition for our boys. Bock all the way, says Tashlin. And this guy's the best commentator, says grip it and rip it there. Oh. Wait a minute. Okay, they're checking this. And thanks for powering through, mate. Much appreciated whilst being under the weather. See, there's Anton there. All right, the shot clock has been turned off now. Right, TMO check. Not sure what this one is going to be for. Checking the actions of White 7. So that is going to be Peter Steph de Toy. He may get penalised. I did these Kiwis in the comments telling us to shut up. Says JP. Right, where is the shot from Peter Steph? So Malcolm Marks gets tackled. Then from there, Roman Intermac. You could argue that Intermac is part of the ruck, but then they may also try and argue that he was backing away. They're trying to work out whether or not he's still connected. He isn't really. It's one of those ones that it could easily go either way, and from the way that we've seen the refereeing at TMO today, there's a chance that this one could get cancelled out. And it wasn't a good game. Hamish, give me a quick overview, please, good sir. Just here, but we'll watch it soon, says Ruby. It was decent. It was that kind of test match that you'd expect between these two sides. It was never going to be too flashy because both of these sides were going to be able to cancel each other out quite nicely. Right, what's the call here? They're going to call it as no try against Peter Steph. He can be cleaned out. This sounds like it is going to be awarded as the Sasha try, which is going to change the score to 30 points to 17 now. Now we have got there, damn, the name is a screaming, says Inferno. And thank you, Angus, says Johannes in there. And also TMO, it's a try, and also good happy birthday, cool story. Right, so he goes to the floor, so it is okay. And now the kicking opportunity for South Africa to add some more points on the board. And I have to say, they win this game by 15. That gives them a massive boost on the world rankings compared to just winning it in general. And that kick has gone over from South Africa, 32 to 17. The way that this one's sitting. Right, Superstar, please get some rest. Thank you, says Philip. And also amazing tuning into a hiding. And also read it in whip, says Francois. And well called the box getting 32. But need another French penalty for the 20. And unstoppable is the box, says Johanna. And there too, nicely taken by South Africa inside of their 22 with Jasper Visser. And fantastic broadcasting and the game is awesome as always. Rolling this back, Grant Williams. He's been told that it is taken back, so isn't able to kick this one out on the full. This has been an impressive showing in the second half from the South Africans, being able to change the momentum of this game completely. It's going to be 2 knock-on, so we are going back for the scrum yet again. And it's going to be the scrum feed for the French. Hey, you did it again today, says Sweetness. And then thank you for the comments, says be yourself, no worries at all. Anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Of course, we are on the road to 76,000 at the moment. We are currently sitting less than the 400 away, so if you haven't already hit that button, we are going to be back next week for the game taking place between the Springboks and Italy, alongside many of the other matches. Our Sasha player of the match. It's an interesting choice, that is for sure. But 10 handling errors from France, 13 penalties against France compared to the 7 of South Africa. So the discipline of the French really hurting them throughout this contest. Now, Maxime Luku going across there into Mac. Ball passed on the outside. Grubber now for France. Just trying to play a little bit of the territory game. Cleaned up by Kutli Arnse. Runner short side. Ball to Cheslin Colby. He's now still got plenty of pace remaining. Steps back on the inside. Tackle 40 metres out from the French line. It seems like they are not done yet. They look like playing the 9 from the French, but it bounces back up to Jasper Visser. Next challenge around the corner will be up against the Italians for the box. I assume we will see some heavy rotation in there. I'm back across. Mani Lebok. Kick charge down. He cleans it back up though. Goes straight back to Kutli Arnse. Just acts like it didn't happen and continues moving forward. Ruan Nokia, awkward way of joining the breakdown there by kind of falling into it. Too many handling errors by the French. Lost it for them, says John. And respect to the box, says Mark in there. And now 9 seconds remaining. It looks like the Springboks are just going to go with one more phase. Waiting for this clock to tick over. Mani Libok running away. Passes it off to Cheslin Colby, and he will kick this ball out at the Stade de France. Still 20 years and counting since France have been able to beat South Africa in this location. And it's the big win, 32 points to 17, 15-point victory for the Springbok side. You are an irritating, I will call it a man in there for Suraj, although you've stuck around for like 20 minutes, Suraj, so I must not be that bad. Normally when you find something irritating, you leave, but you're still here, so you must like me a little bit. Hopefully France don't complain about the ref. Says Michael there. And we have got there, we are clearly says this is the greatest rugby team ever to play rugby. Says Joshua. And we have got there, France gave up 15 minutes ago, and Springboks ridiculously good. And we have got there, I'm going to say it, France will never win a World Cup. They don't have what it takes. And also we have got there Lekina. And also your legit dude. And also we have got there beautiful. Says Zombie Nix, and your great commentary. Says it was from Ramosio. Hopefully I've said that correctly. Well done, Hamish. Hopefully you can get some good rest. I hope you feel better, bro. Says Michael there as well. And also thank you, Hamish, for a wonderful commentary as always. Hope you get better soon. I think I read that one. Have I gone backwards in time in the chat? Maybe I didn't. Thank you, Hamish. See you for the next one. Says Nikolai. Have a nice rest and get better soon. But yeah, in the next live stream that we have got, ladies and gents, will be taking place in around 7 hours' time. That is going to be the matchup taking place between Samoa and New Zealand. And then after that, we have also got another game taking place, and that is going to be Argentina versus Wales. We have got there, where'd that go? It's gone very quickly. Stumbled across your channel and definitely subbed. I'll be back. Says Monique, greatly appreciated. And we have got there, Hamish, why not stay so we can talk about the match? Says Inferno, we're not going to leave right now. We were just going through the comments that were there. We have got there, thanks H, for another great commentary, says Jan. And thanks for the exceptional commentary all match. Glad Box didn't lose on the controversial card. And also our Southern Hemisphere fans saying Northern Hemisphere fans shouldn't complain about the ref. It's hilarious. See his flesh in there, watching from Dubai in my car. Great job, my bro. See here's Justin there too. But yeah, good win for the South Africans. Reinach, Estes and Williams and Sasha Feinberg, Ngume Zulu, the 4 try scorers in this contest. Give me mummy a shout out, please. Says Siraj. No, we won't. I have got a number though, but we have got there what happened with Australia, says Stefan, and thanks Hamish for the commentary, says Tessa. And we have got the who's man of the match. They have given it to Sasha Feinberg Ngume Zulu in the end as the man of the match. He did have a bit of a shaky day off the kicking tee. Also, like I said, they didn't play the tactics that works for Sasha Feinberg Ngume Zulu, but as soon as they switched to the more attacking style, having Mani Libok out there as well, that was exactly what they needed. And that was when we started seeing a whole big difference. Look at this. 64th minute, 70th minute, and also the 77th minute. Can you explain the red card? Why wasn't it 20 minutes? So they did call it as a severe challenge, so a permanent red for Ludiacha, and I would assume with that call, they're probably going to give him about a 3 or 4 week suspension in this case, which is unfortunate for Diacha, seeing as he's in great form. And we go there, cheers Hamish, great win for the Bok. Says Carl there too, and thanks Hamish, see you next time. And awesome commentary, says Andre, thank you very much. And Cynical says Big Rig there. And also man of the match, Hamish, for pulling off an all-nighter while 6 starting at 2 a.m. Says Michael. Yeah, ironically, my nose has stopped running now. As soon as we're almost finished, it seems like it's sorted itself out. But, yeah, she's been a long day. That is for sure. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, as we have got plenty more coming up on the channel, including that match tomorrow between Wales and Argentina. Alongside that, a little bit more of the Rugby League, the final, taking place between New Zealand and Samoa. So also be sure to check that out. But thank you all very much for tuning in, and we will see you all for the next one.